Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. On behalf of ISEC Management, I would like to welcome you all again for the second day of the OIC Business Intelligence Center Obic Capacity Building Program. We will start our first session shortly on the role of the business intelligence and digital transformation in supporting business decisions. Second session will take place at 11:30 a.m. on credit information and the impact of information sharing. Third session will take place soon after Dhuhr prayer and lunch at 1:45 p.m. on the efficient utilization of statistical source of information on credit, trade, and investment. Let me remind you, please, that there will be a social program. Transportation will be available at your hotel at 5:30 p.m. You will be taken to the expedition of Binali Islamic Art, followed by the dinner. I have the pleasure now to give the floor to our manager, Information Technology Management Division, ISEC, Brother Mohammed Al-Sayed, to start his first presentation. Once again, thank you so much for joining us, and I wish you a very pleasant day. One more thing to all mothers in the room, happy Mother's Day. Thank you so much.
So I'm welcoming you on this second day of our capacity building event. I am, as Sister Nof mentioned, I am the Information Technology Manager of ISEC, and I will be taking you on a short trip describing the baseline of our Business Intelligence Center, which is the business intelligence itself. I will try to be away from this technical as much as I can, because it's a technical platform describing the business intelligence. I will, as much as I can, put it in a business context. So this is my storyline. I'm going to be talking about the definition of business intelligence, the concept of data visualization, and the common data concept, where we are going to go through detail into these three main headers. First of all, let us define what is business intelligence. Business intelligence, I can describe it in a very efficient way, that it is the practice of turning data into an actionable insight. You have a big wealth of data in your organization. This data may be related to your business, may be related to your environment. So we are going to make use of this data in a platform that will be helping and supporting us into an enhanced and conscious business decision. Actionable insights that allow leaders or business users to change or maintain the course of action. Business intelligence as a whole will have processes, will have tools in order to build it. It has to have skills in order to build it, and these skills are spread into various roles, because business intelligence, if I am going to take it from my personal view, it's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle making us dig into data, into the facts and dimension of data that we have. Because to me, the most important asset in any organization or in any entity is the human resources and the data that this organization is generating. Whenever you have your resources, human resources, and you have your data, you can use any system to make decisions or to take actions. So, after defining the business intelligence, we need to compare it with the term that it is used now, the big data, the data, and the data science. Is business intelligence the same as data science? Very simple. The answer is no, because they have two different aspects, these two terms. But for sure, business intelligence is a subsequent or a subgroup of the data science. So what is business intelligence? Business intelligence is what has happened and what is the trend that are developing in my business, in my subject matter area. So typical question that a manager or an employee or a responsible for a business unit may ask in a financial institution or in a bank, how many loans did we issue compared to last year? Am I making good progress based on the KPI, on the target loan that I have to make? So these are measurable facts based on your, let's say, KPIs and the actuals that that are happening on the ground. If you are in a wholesale, let's say, company, you want to check, it's easy to check what is the category that is making the category that is making the high sale. In our environment in ISEC, we may need to see what is the most policy that we are generating or requested from our business partner in a specific area. Maybe in Asia, it's different than the type of policies required in the MENA region. So the key skills of this environment is it's a basic status of the data, knowing our data, to transform the data, and to visualize, to make a better business knowledge. The data analysis and data science, it's more into data analysis. So it can help you with the new digital trends that we are hearing about, the artificial intelligence, the ChatGPT, and all of these type of, let's say, new technological jargon. So in data science, if you have a platform, you can ask, what will be the outcome most likely if I continue like this? So it is not only history and current facts that are happening, but it's also a kind of assessing what most likely to happen in the future based on fact, based on external fact that are collected in this data science environment. So typical question that a business owner or a business responsible, can we predict which customer are more likely to default their loan? Who are the, let's say, entities that we are dealing with are having, let's say, a possibility to announce bankruptcy? And these are all kind of predictive assessment based on our internal data, our internal transaction with these type of, let's say, business partner, taking into consideration the geographical area that they are in, the political factor, economic factor, the trend of the global, let's say, economy. So this data science with the artificial intelligence can easily or can help you easily assess what is likely is going to happen. And it will require more skills, more technical skills, let's say, than just a business intelligence. Because in business intelligence, we have the data, we take it into another platform in a let's say, massaged way. Then we start building the fact and the dimensions, and from it, the cubes, the info cubes, from which we can derive with any tools, we can draw any type of, let's say, visual dashboard for this. So the skills are required in the data science. It may require coding, and further extensive coding and data mining, because you need to collect data not from your current database. You need, let's say, for example, in a bank, if you want to give a loan to somebody, you need to acquire some data about the performance of this entity. Maybe you need to profile this company, and the profile may be depending on data coming from other sources, from other banks, from other rating agencies, the credit profile of this organization, let's say. So all of this will require a data mining expert in order to collect all type of various information that are coming into a streamlined data that, with the help of artificial intelligence, can generate the right or somehow near to reality expectation. So this is what is required. In data science, in business intelligence, one, let's say, developer, one architecture from your company who knows the databases can, let's say, formulate your business intelligence environment, all the info cubes, whereas in data science, these people, these capability may not be enough. You may need to resort to domain expert, يعني somebody who is expert in the financial trends, so he can build a type of InfoCubes that deals with credit rating, with information assessment, with profiling. So it will be more than a business intelligence, let's say, knowledge of the traditional data that we have. So I'm going back to the business intelligence. We have 3 categories mainly under business intelligence. Business intelligence can help us to take historical and real-time data in order to model a future outcome. And this is when we use it for planning, let's say, for planning purposes. Let's say I need, in the annual budget, there is an exercise, how we are going to budget. So we take a previous year's expenditure on a specific item, on a specific area, and from it we can increase our budget. So, or our KPIs.
Sir, I have a question. Can you please repeat the domain knowledge in previous slide?
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Yes, the domain knowledge, when I said in business intelligence, you have your team, somebody who knows your data will come and build the InfoCube that you can build your visual dashboard. But when in data science, you need more. You need a kind of to guess an outcome or what is most likely to happen. Maybe your current resources are not enough with the business knowledge that they have. You need to have a domain expert. That means if you are in finance, you need a financial domain expert who can easily build the data science, the InfoCube, that are required for you to test what is most likely to happen. So it will not be enough expert from your within the organization. You may need, let's say, to have the support of a consultancy company that are in financial analysis. If you are in insurance, you want to test, let's say, a specific product. You need to get information. You need to gather a lot of information, not only related to your transaction within your company. This will be enough if you want to build an InfoCube, but you need to study more. What is most likely will happen if I have a new product? You need to test it. So you need a domain expert in insurance, taking into consideration the knowledge of this insurance, the area, the economy, the business trend. So you need more than people who are within your organization that knows the data. You need a kind of a business domain people who will help you to set up a data science, let's say, and artificial intelligence that will help you with whatever you need to achieve. So this is the difference between somebody with business knowledge and somebody with domain knowledge. Business knowledge is any business type of stuff that you have. The domain knowledge, maybe internally and maybe externally, who knows the overall business, the domain. So this is it. So as I was saying, taking into consideration the historical and the current data, you can build some, let's say, some InfoCubes in order to help you budget for next year, depending on historical thing, depending on the consumption of whatever budget you are putting over the last 3 years. So this is a kind of predictive analytics that will help you budget, that will help you see something of a tangible fact. You have another analytics and business intelligence, the type of the descriptive analysis. These are descriptive analytics. These are the process of identifying trends and relationships in data using historical and, let's say, current data. So these descriptive analytics, for example, you want to see why a specific category of your business is making sale more than other categories. So it will describe, let's say, for you, or you can test a variation. What if we increase the rate of blah, 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 we reduce the margin of profit? So this will describe to you how it can go. So these type of descriptive analytics. The prescriptive analytics, that will take all the relevant data, all the relevant analysis that will guide you how do my business, what should my business do. Yani as I was saying, an example in ISEC, for example, if we are seeing a specific type of policies, of insurance policies, are booming while the other that we think they are may needed, we can have data mart in order to study in detail those policies per sector, per subsectors, with relation to every region. So we can, let's say, have a kind of support to making a decision to describe or to prescribe what is needed in order to enhance a specific, let's say, product. So these are the three areas of the analysis that the business intelligence can offer. Of course, everything in life, even in technology, it has advantages and disadvantages. Of course, the advantages of business intelligence is far more than the disadvantages. The advantages are the data visibility and the clarity, so you will have all your data categorized in info cubes in front of you, where you can pick and choose any item from any data mart and put them on a dashboard, on a report that you can run every day in order to see what is interesting for you among this wealth of data that you have in your organization. Also, it will give you accurate report because you are extracting the data directly, natively from your current databases into the database of the business intelligence, which is the data mart, through a streamlined processes. Yani this is the processes how we are going to extract, transform, and load this type of data. Another type of data may require different processes, but these are all streamlined within the organization. It will increase the efficiency because somebody will be seeing a 360-degree view of a specific subject matter in his area. It will be a better customer experience and improve employee satisfaction. Your employee will be on top of every development because he's seeing all the data in a visual manner and in, let's say, streamlined manner. And the most important to me, the business intelligence will always streamline the data that you are seeing as if, or taking into consideration that we are reading a one source of truth. Because now, every one of us, if you want to prepare a report about, let's say, a specific fact in your business area, you may have data on the database of the application, you may have some Excel sheet, you may have some text files, you may have another type of data. So you need to take from every sources in order to prepare a report that you must be submitting to your supervisor or even to your colleagues. So business intelligence structure will streamline the processes of collecting data from various types of resources, as we are going to see in the next slides, in order to streamline the processes of extracting data from various resources and put them into one info cube, one cube that contains all the facts and dimensions we are going to talk about regarding a specific business area. What are the disadvantages of the business intelligence? Setting up a business intelligence infrastructure and architecture in your company, the investment cost will be high in the first phase, and also it is depending on what is the type of business intelligence environment you may need. You may have different level, you may have different, let's say, structure, you may be reading from different type or different sources of data. So this will impact the initial cost of setting up this. Whenever you are investing in this or implementing any new system or any new, let's say, type of digital support to your customer, which are the employees, you will face resistance. Because by nature, subhanallah, we are used to come at 8 o'clock, I will do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is how I'm doing it. If they ask me for a report, this is how I'm going to do it. So remove everything from his hand in a structured way of extracting data into the same container, the same, let's say, version of truth, user will resist it. And some user may see it as a threat of their existing in the organization, especially if their work depends on generating KPIs, generating dashboards, generating reports, sales report, whatever. Also, it will require, in the first phase, as part of the initial high cost, it will require some data skills, which we are, in every company, we have a gap in this. So every company, we have an IT center, an IT section, an IT division. It has somebody for security, somebody for the servers, somebody for the storage. We have developers sometimes, but we don't have the type of a data expert. The data expert is in absence in most of our organization, except for big organization, where they have this, let's say, the ability to enlarge their data team or the digital team and having these type of skills. In detail, we are going to talk about the skills that are required in a business intelligence environment. Now, there is a difference, as I was saying, you have the business intelligence platform where you have, and this platform will contain all the databases, all the scripts that are developed to extract data from various data sources and put them in a streamlined manner in an info cube or a cube for related data into our business. So you will have a cube for sales, you will have a cube for human resources, you have a cube for data related to your corporate procurement. So any type of data that you can have a platform or an info cube that will be specialized in. So these cubes will require servers, will require a technical environment, will require the storage, hard disk, processing power. So this is all of it, and to engage it in our technical infrastructure where user can access it, this is called the platform. This platform will require a type of communication. You need to communicate with let's say, an info cube. If you have an info cube for, let's say I am an HR manager, and I have an info cube for all staff cost, per category, per grade, per role, per position. The cube is there. If you are going to see it, you see a table. It is not of a meaning to the end user. So the end user will require the dashboard. The dashboard is very simply the user interface, the screens, the reports that you are getting out of this info cube. So what is the difference between the platform and the dashboard? So the platform is an intuitive use. Within the platform, we are having all the scripts that collect data or that can trigger any action based on a specific event, based on a specific fact. It will trigger something. So this is an intuitive to use. So you will have an option to use a variety of options of visualization option and dashboard. So the platform, the environment will allow you, I want to talk to this BI environment platform using Excel, using Microsoft Access, using Power BI, using Tableau. So any type of end user product may help you build the dashboard. Also, as I said, you can build in the platform all types of metrics, whether bad or good, that will start give you indications, start giving you alerts, notification. Whenever the expenditure is on top of the KPI by 10%, start giving whatever. So if I have the receivables, I have a different, let's say, phases of customer dunning. If the receivable aging is more than 60 days, you generate a fact about customer dunning level 1, then level 2, then maybe arbitration, whatever. So these are things that you can do in the platform itself. And it have a flexibility, as I said. It will have a flexibility to collect data from any type of data sources. If we have a normal database, if we have Excel sheets, if we have text file, it has a variety of routine that will allow you to connect with data. So the dashboard is something else. Dashboard is a mean that will help you access the business intelligence platform. It is interactive because you can build a dashboard with all type of selection. I want to select to see the total sale per category, let's say within this period. I change the period, I change the year, I change the business category, the product category. I change any type of things. These are interactively, the data will change. I think you have been in such a experience where you have a dashboard. If you click on a country, you see the related sales on the map on the spot. If you change to another country, so it's an interactive type of, let's say, assessing the data. It's a real-time data. Why it's a real-time data? Because as we said, it is taking the historical data and it is taking the current data of your organization. The customizable interface, what does it mean? Whatever you build, an interface, a dashboard, let's say I want the color red here, now I want it blue, I need to change the date from here to there. So you will have the full flexibility to change the interface, the visual interface that you have. In addition to, you can apply, let's say, standard templates. You can, like a document template. Now we are using, let's say, a specific form to display something. We can have this as a template in the Power BI dashboard, in the business intelligence dashboard, that you can easily activate them and use them in your environment, reading from your business intelligence platform. And of course, if I have developed a specific dashboard, I can share it with my colleague X, I can share it with my colleague Y, I can give them access so that they can easily access this visual and get the benefit to see whatever data related I'm preparing. Now, I hope that I am not making you boring. So this is what I have. This is what I have to say. No, regarding, as I said, the cost of business intelligence is high because we have a different type of expertise that we should have. This is why most companies, they don't have a dedicated team for business intelligence. They may have an engagement with the company to implement it, and very few roles to support them or to enhance or to change the data connectivity whenever it is needed. So we have a lot of roles and processes. Every role has specific processes in the building of the business intelligence platform or environment. We have the data engineer who do data storage and the transformation and the loading of data. We have the data analyst who will prepare the data model and the analysis, who will prepare the info cubes for you. You have the data visualization specialist. This is the one who will sit with you to see how best you want to see the data, in which form, in which format. So he built visual dashboards and reports. And then you have the consumers, which are the business leaders, business experts, who got the help of these visuals to read this data, this fact, and make the conscious decision. So for every type of role, we have a type of processes that it must be done by this role. Of course, the normal traditional data processing of data, which we call it an online data processing, these are when you are processing your data in a system. But there are data when you are intentionally keying in data to book a voucher, to book a payment, to book a receivable. But there are other type of data that are collected with or without your knowledge. Like now, I am wearing an Apple phone. You can see the health report. It's something, I don't know what is this. It is something, they are collecting all facts about your body, the sugar, the water, the adrenaline, the heartbeat, the blood pressure. So this data, as long as it is on my iPhone, it is somewhere else in Apple servers. And Apple servers may sell it to all type of medical and healthcare centers that will start because they know your IP, they know your mobile number, and they can send you targeted advertising how to improve your lifestyle, how to blah blah blah. So this is the data. This is the wealth of data that we have. This is Excel. Okay. In business intelligence, there are, whenever a data is stored in a table, there are two types that this table can be. It can be a dimension table or a fact table. What do we mean by dimension and what do we mean by fact? A fact table, if somebody is booking the sales every day, I sell this type for this amount, for this haida to this customer, for this currency on this date. So these are transaction data. They call it the fact data. The fact data describe whatever transaction you are doing in a specific practice. The related dimension table are the table that are master data. That mean, if I am selling a product A, this product A, it has a table where it describes this product, the length, the description, the taste, the color, the type. So this table that gives more information on the specific item that you are selling, this is called the dimension. A customer file where you put all your customer, their addresses, their company names, their email. These are dimension file. Dimension file that mean, or dimension table, these are the table that hold the master data. Then whenever you are doing a transaction with customer A, this customer A has his reference in the dimension table. Why I'm talking about dimension and fact? Because these tables, whenever they move into the database, into the platform of the business intelligence, we will have an info cube per fact and dimension. That means give me the sale per category, give me the sales per currency, give me the sale per date, give me the sales per customers. So all of these are dimension of my data describing the fact of how these dimensions are moving over the transaction. And of course, okay. Now we talk about this. This is the role recap. This is the technical and the business skills of the team working in the business intelligence platform. So the data engineer, the data analyst, they have to have more technical expertise than business. The data visualization expert, he has to have more into business, more into, let's say, analytical skills in order to build this dashboard. Okay. So now, if I have a business intelligence platform in my organization, I need to differ between two main things. I may have a report or a visual, any visual type, whether it's a screen, whether I print, this is visual, or a dashboard. What is the difference between visual and a dashboard? The visual is a way to see the data on the screen or on a report from a single table that you have. Yani I just need to see the sale. So the sale, the table of sale, this is whatever I'm executing, let's say, a type of visual. I will see what are the sale. If I need a dashboard, or if I need to see the sale per geographical area, per the margin that I'm making on profit, per the delay of aging, so you are relating multiple dimensions for a specific fact into one visual. This is what we call the dashboard. The dashboard is very simple. This is the storyline, a story about a specific subject that you need to see it in a 360 manner. For a staff, for HR people, they want to see somebody who is in time and attendance function. He just wants to see my in and out in the organization during a specific month, so he will consult a visual. But if my manager wants to see how I am deviating in my attendance and the pay scale that I'm taking, and if I have, let's say, any warnings, or if I have blah, 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 into one screen, this we call it a dashboard, because dashboard is a story about somebody or something or a fact. So all of us worked with Excel. We know the type of visuals that we can use. Among them, we have the chart, and the chart, it has multiple types. We have the bar, the column, the line, the waterfall, the donut, the map. We have all type of these, let's say, chart that we can place it on our visual or on our dashboard. But, of course, we have to be rational to what we use and when and how. And for example, this is which will lead me to the good versus the bad visual. So let's say if you want to see the sales and you want to categorize them by a bar chart, if you are just dropping the bar chart as is without any indication, just different color, anybody who will read this chart that I am displaying will not understand. It will understand only that the red is the appliances and the blue is the toys, but this is what? For what? What are we measuring? So the more simpler and the clearer my chart that I'm using, the more the people will be attracting to it. So in my point of view, this is a good chart, or this is a good visual, because it is putting the X, putting the indication, and it is putting the coloring, and in every color or in every chart, I'm putting the percentage of the sales that we make of this category among the overall sale. So this is how we do this. So this is another, let's say, type of chart. Sometimes in a chart, you can play with the color. Yani within the chart, you can embed a small rule that if sales are below 50, make it red. If it is between 50 and blah, 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 make it yellow. If it is above, make it green. We all have sometimes encountered such examples in our Excel when we want to color, let's say, the negative numbers in red, where we want to color the cell in green. So these are, they call it the formatting rule. So we can format, or we can put some rules on the formatting on our dashboard based on which, based on the number or fact that we are describing, color, shapes may change. This is, again, this is some technical. In the world of data, we have various type of data. We have the decimal data, we have the integers, we have percentage, we have date data, we have time data, we have date and time, we have text, we have location, and we have the Boolean. So all of these data type, whenever the programmer or the data analyst want to use them, he has to use them wisely. Very simple fact, I cannot add to text. I cannot subtract a time from a percentage. I cannot test if a number is higher than a text. So when we build the InfoCube in our business intelligence platform, we have to be at a great knowledge. What is the data type that I am dealing with? This is when it comes with the data engineer. Whenever he is extracting the data, he may be reading from various sources of data. For example, I'm putting the date DDMMYY, somebody else using another data, but the same context, but he's using year, month, day. So now the data engineer has to streamline this. That means all the date fields that are collected are the same. All the amounts that are collected have the same, let's say, decimal. All blah, blah, blah have the same whatever in order to have a structured data that can be used. The Boolean, all of us is, I can simplify it. The Boolean type of data is the true or false, or yes or no. So let's say if I have a data item in my database to describe the marital status of an employee, so I can put an item called married. So the answer is yes or no, or true or false. So these Booleans can be used in generating some type, some facts. So if the married field is yes, go and do this. If the married field is no, go and do that. So this will help me in the conditional calculation that I may be doing on my data. Of course, there are functions, you know, in the Excel. I'm sorry, I'm always referring to the Excel because most of us are familiar with the Excel. So for every type of data, there are plenty of functions that you can use this data in. For example, in a text, you can take the first 3 characters, you can take the last 3 characters, you can take the position of a specific character, you can find a specific character. In a number, you can add, subtract, multiply, you can get the average, the sum, the roundation, the maximum of a number within a series, the minimum, the average. So all of this. In the date function, you can add 2 dates. You can add date and the number to get the future date. You can subtract 2 dates to get the number of days when you want to calculate a specific period, let's say for a specific fact. For the Boolean, as I told you, you can decide based on this whether it's a true or false. If it is true or yes, we can do this. If it is no, false, we can do something else. So this is what we have. In addition to the comparison, if this one is greater than, less than, greater, equal, less than, equal, not equal. So all of these will help you massage your data when you are building your business intelligence data mart, and it will help also the data visualizer, the one who is building for you, or if you are building your own dashboard, if you want to extend some rule. And I'm giving you all the people in your organization that are above 30. You want to go further, give me the above 30 that you are giving me, but I want to get the ones that are below 40. So I can also go and do further calculation on the data that I have. So also, as I told you, while we are collecting data, maybe each one of us has the sale data of his sales, and the data engineer will come and he needs to collect. First of all of these tables. First of all, he needs to make sure that all the tables have the same columns as if you are in Excel. The first column for date, the second column for customer, the third column for the amount, and the fourth column whatever. So he needs to make sure that the sequence and type of these columns in all of our data sources are the same. Then he can append it into one table. So in order to append multiple tables, they should have the same structure. Joining table, as I was saying, I have a transaction table that contains only the customer code and the sales and the amount. But this customer code, I need more information. I need his name, his address, his person responsible in this company. So I join the fact table with the dimension table. The dimension table is the customer file, and the fact table are the sale transaction file, and the link between them is the customer code. So the customer code will play the integrator between 2 tables. One of them is the dimension, and the other is the fact. Or one of them is the master, and the other is the detail. And this key, the customer key, in my master table, we call it the primary key. This primary key, we all know, it should not be duplicated. Yani, for example, in all our countries, all of us, we have the national ID. We cannot have 2 citizens in a country have the same national ID. So the database that contains our information will contain the national ID. This national ID is a primary key. That means it cannot be zero, it cannot be empty, and it cannot be redundant. يعني two or more are sharing the same. Transaction wise, if I get, let's say, a traffic ticket, I get I have another transaction here and there in the country. So they will link this national ID with the national ID of these transactions to build a 360 overview about Muhammad, that he has this amount of money in the bank, he has this amount of dues for his credit card, he has this much of traffic violation that he did not pay, he has this much of utility bill that he is not pay. So based on the national file or the national ID file, he can link it to every transaction because transactions are done by our national ID. So this is an example. So when you link the national ID in the ID table with the transaction key that hold the national ID, they call it the foreign key. Foreign key, that means this is a key where it is linked to a master key when it comes to the national ID. So we have various relationship between tables. If I have a staff ID table, like the national ID, for every staff I have only one ID. One ID cannot be shared with two staff. So the relation between the staff table and the salaries may be one to many. The relation between staff staff and, let's say, annual leave taken, this is one to many. Because very simple, there is one Muhammad Al-Sayyid here, but Muhammad Al-Sayyid has taken many annual leave. So you can link, here it's a primary key, here it's a foreign key. So very simple. You may have one-to-one. What is one-to-one? Product and category, for example. If I have the single, I am in a retail shop and I have product category, let's say I have consumables, I have food, and I have a type of jewelry. The jewelry, these are the category. I may have a specific category, subcategory that contains a specific type, let's say, of a commodity or a stock that this category can hold only this type of product or this one product. So this category is one-to-one. It cannot have two products within the same category. So maybe for some security, some auditing purposes, you need to have such type of categories. We have one-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-one, many-to-many. So these are the type of relation that we have. So, and what I wanted to tell you, it will take your culture of your security, you can apply it. It's open to all type of measures. Legally, as long as you are within your organization, this is your data. You are reading data from somebody else's database to build a more comprehensive dashboard on some fact. Maybe you have a non-disclosure agreement with this company that will regulate how the data that you are exchanging are managed or are used. So this is between two entities, easy. Globally or regionally, as per the OIC, I think our legal head, he is the best to give you a full idea about this. Thank you. Yes?
Thank you so much for the presentation. We've talked about the different roles required
Yes.
In order to build or to adopt business intelligence. If we were to have the budget for one person to start with, who would you start with? The analyst or the visualization specialist or the engineer?
Yeah. And in my point of view, you can start a small business intelligence project in your company, depending on the database administrator that you have, because he will just prepare some tables that can be used with various type of visualization. Yani for example, in ISIC, we have a database administrator who knows all our data. He knows them by table. And with the developer and our business team, we have the policy, we have the expiry date of it, we have the nature, we have the premium, we have the business insured. So we collect these data and put them in an InfoCube. InfoCube is another table. Other than the specialized environment, in IDB Group, we have a very sophisticated environment from SAP. SAP is a very well-known software in the world, and the business intelligence side of it is a little bit costly if you don't use it to the full. If it doesn't have a business value, a return on investment, you can go for, let's say, Microsoft offering, Oracle offering, where you can build a small one. But now we started without a business intelligence environment. We have the SAP. We took a part of SAP and we collect our information into meaningful InfoCube. With the help of the database that administrator that we have, we created 4, 5, 6 InfoCube based on facts and dimension that we want. And most of us, most of the IT team, we don't have a data visualizer or a guy or an employee who build business intelligence dashboard. We are doing it, but we are in the process to start enhancing the capacity of our users that look, this is Microsoft Power BI because this is what we use as a tool. These are the table that you have. This is all our sales. This is all our premium. This is all our HIDA. You can click on it to see. We formulate the InfoCube in a business meaning language because in technical, when a field for date, we may call it DT or val DT for value date. No, we put it in a business context, these tables, value date, expiration date. So the user can pick up and choose all the field and display them in whatever, let's say, look and feel he wants. Other than the organizational dashboard that we built to be consumed by everybody, for KPIs, for sales, for whatever common interest. If you are going to go further, I think a team will be ready, has to be there, but it is all depending about your strategy, the goal, where you want to go, and the feasibility study of having whatever type of business intelligence you want. Because you may go, and I'm going to tell you, I implemented SAP Intelligence in IDB. The platform only, the technical platform, cost us $2.7 million. Is it required? Yes, it is required because IDB invested so much money in the transactional system of SAP and MySys for Treasury. So all type of these environment, different nature of environment, they need a well-built type of business intelligence environment that is robust, reliable, that will allow you to connect to multiple data sources, and you can embed any type of logic, any type of scripting, any type of notification. The cost of this will be paid by the benefit of the infrastructure that we have and the demand of information. So it is feasible to us. Maybe somebody else will tell you, I will spend a couple of $10,000 and I have the enterprise data warehousing of SAP, of Microsoft, and I have the Microsoft Power BI or even Excel. I can connect and do pivot table, do graphs, do whatever. It depends about the strategy, where you want to go, and the criticality to have it. Then you go into the recruitment of the team. Some existing team member, like developers, like database administrator, you may enhance their capacity to do additionally some BI related work. You can. Or if you are a big one, multi-branch, you may need a central team to save the governance and to build a robust, let's say, infrastructure for this. Then you will go into the recruitment where the market rate will apply. But those expertise usually are a bit more expensive than other IT, let's say, professionals. Because these are the data experts. These are the people who will drive you through your business strategy. Yes. Thank you. I'm sorry, did I pass my time? Yes, sorry. Any question? Okay, I thank you very much. And hope you enjoy the remaining of your stay, and we'll see you at night, inshallah.
Okay, welcome again. Welcome everybody.
These are the tables that we have. This is all our sales.
Have presentation by our brother Talha Ahmed from ICCIA, Pakistan. It is ICCIA is an affiliate of the OIC, and they have done very good job in the areas of business intelligence, digital transformation, and automation. And as you know, especially after the COVID-19 pandemic, all these areas, and because of the new norm imposed by the pandemic, it became very important, and they are going hand in hand. So our brother Talha is going to take us through his presentation to learn about this, and also to tell about what job they have done to serve their member chambers of commerce and also the SMEs. So the floor is yours, brother Talha.
Thank you very much, Brother Al-Tayyib. We'll be talking about the digital transformation of the SMEs. I am representing Islamic Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture. So first of all, I'll tell you about the brief storyline. This presentation is divided in 6 major parts. First of all, I'll be going through the brief introduction about ICCIA. Second part would be about SMEs and digital transformation. Third part would be about why digital transformation for SMEs, why SMEs specifically require this digital transformation, and what measures should be taken to implement the digital transformation in the SME sector. Fourth part would be having concluded that digital transformation is important and essential to have a sustainable involvement in the economy. What specific measures should be taken to start the digital transformation? From where to start? What is the starting line? And then I'll share some success stories of some SME businesses in which digital transformation measures were implemented. What challenges were faced, what were the objectives, and what kind of measures were taken to kind of implement digital transformation. And lastly, inshallah, I'll be talking about specific initiatives about ICCIA, what we are specifically doing and implementing at Islamic Chamber of Commerce. So this is the brief storyline about the presentation. So Islamic Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture, also known as ICCIA, it is an affiliated institution of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, OIC, and represents the private sector of 57 OIC countries. Basically, so kind of the hierarchy is that there are local chambers of every city or every district, and then there is an apex chamber for every country. And then there comes the Islamic Chamber of Commerce. So the policy making and the technology part and the advocacy and the decision making kind of comes, the apex chamber and the Islamic Chamber of Commerce works hand in hand. So this is what our specific organization vision is and objective is. So basically we are in 7 major sectors And with the involvement, as already said, 57 OIC countries are the member of the Islamic Chamber of Commerce. So this is a brief, kind of the countries which are members of the ICCIA and who have the observer status at the ICCIA. Moving on, I'll talk about the strategy of ICCIA, the core pillars on which ICCIA, Islamic Chamber of Commerce, is based upon. So these are basically, we are based upon and we are trying to implement two major aspects and visions. First of all is we are trying to and we are expanding the role of OIC private sector in realizing UN sustainable development goals. So there are 17 sustainable goals and we kind of have a strategy and we kind of plan all 17 sustainable development goals and what measures and what policies and what specific strategies could be implemented in the OIC countries in order to attain the sustainable development goals. And the second is OIC Program of Action 2025. So OIC Program of Action 2025 is also based upon 2 to 3 major concepts. The first is that intra-trade between the OIC countries. So the OIC countries, in order to basically strengthen the Muslim Ummah, OIC countries should be strengthening their economy via doing trade among themselves. Specifically, economic situations, apart from the very few of the OIC countries, the economic situations have been tough. And the imports are increasing and the exports are decreasing. And we are importing from different other countries, not the OIC countries. We are importing from China, we are importing stuff from US, we are importing different stuff from European countries, Japan, Australia. So if the vision is, in order to strengthen the economy of the Muslim Ummah and OIC countries, if the intra-trade between the countries of the OIC starts and establishes, the situations would be better. So basically, and then basically linking the SMEs and the private sector, the provider and the attainer kind of the rule. So we are planning to and we are implementing to match the needs and the resources. So this is what our strategy is based upon. And in terms of, I've mentioned it already. So these are few of the pillars on which ICCI thinks upon and vision is based upon. Be an engine for mobilizing investments, influence policy making related to private sector, and then development of the private sector and its representatives, which are the chambers of commerce. So this is what our core focus and vision is. Now, so the first part, I've quite a lot said about the ICCIA introduction. Coming to the second segment of this particular presentation, which I earlier mentioned, was SMEs and digital transformation. So we are living in a VUCA world, where VUCA, vulnerability, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. New technological trends are emerging every day. We have seen the intervention of ChatGPT. Before that, even WhatsApp was very innovation kind of when it landed. And in my personal opinion, the most important, significant part which WhatsApp delivers is, with the intervention of WhatsApp, was the read receipts, the blue ticks. Kind of that gives an emotion. The chatting was already possible with the text messages and SMS. But why WhatsApp? Why are people preferring WhatsApp? The blue ticks, they tell us this person has read it. The last scene, the online. These are the few things which convert the regular chatting experience into a connected chatting experience. So innovation is coming up every day. WhatsApp was an innovation. ChatGPT is an innovation. And quite a lot of innovations and inventions are going to come. So with the inventions, there is vulnerability. Vulnerability not in a sense of chaos, but in a sense of, we have to adapt a lot of things. And then there is uncertainty, are continuous with the intervention of technology. Practices are going to change every day. Things might get complex and things might get ambiguous. So the people, the VUCA, the vulnerability, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity, this is for everyone who are resisting the technology. If the person is continuously accepting the technology, implementing the technology, and making it a regular norm, then this VUCA is not for that person. So basically, what is happening is disruption, accelerating innovation, and rapid digitalization. I'll give you a few examples of the business, Kareem Uber business. This business has basically transformed the whole taxi ride-hailing kind of business. People used to, earlier what used to happen was that people used to stay on roads, bus stands, taxi stands. They would call a taxi, they would hire, and they would kind of negotiate the fare. Now the whole business has been transformed. With the intervention of Uber, Uber does not own any car, Uber does not hire any particular driver, but still it is a very reliable kind of business. I'm from Karachi, Pakistan. I landed in Jeddah 2 days ago. I was facing issues in trusting the local taxi driver. I don't know if you charge me a lot or not. So what I did was that, okay, I trust Kareem. What I'll do is I'll book a ride from airport to my hotel from Kareem, because I know the rates are kind of standardized based upon kilometer, based upon time. So, people are starting to trust technology more than the conventional business processes. So this is disruption. And then innovation is coming up with the intervention of ChatGPT. Quite a lot said about ChatGPT. So this is innovation. Jobs, I don't know if it is right to say on this platform or not, but the content creation jobs are fading away with the intervention of ChatGPT. So innovation is coming up. I'll talk about this point at later stages as well. That the people are fearing that unemployment is going to happen and all. No, unemployment is not going to happen. It seems like that the jobs are going on, but the different kind of skill set jobs are now required. Okay, the conventional content writers or the conventional typewriters or finance people or law making people, lawyers would be required, finance experts would be required, office secretarial staff would be required, content creators would be required, but with a different technology stack or with a different skill set, I would rather say. So, there is a kind of a situation of chaos, and SMEs and all businesses and on even individual level, we are, in a chaos situation in order to analyze what to trust and what not to, what to adapt and what not to adapt. So this is a situation and kind of creating a scenario of what specifically is happening on individual and business level. Further, moving on. So, the earlier speaker, Brother Muhammad Al-Sayyed, he also mentioned about the data. So I'll, quickly go through this concept: information, data, and knowledge. What is information? What is data? And what is knowledge? So basically, information is just numbers or values or data or kind of text. That is information. For example, today the weather is 30 degrees Celsius, for example. Tomorrow the weather is 40 degrees Celsius. The day after tomorrow is 35. So this is information. The processed form of information is known as data. Okay, so the average weather in the month of March in Jeddah is, for example, 30 degrees Celsius. This is kind of a data on which I can make some sort of conclusion. And then the knowledge is making decisions based upon data. Having processed data, we have already had a discussion about data, business intelligence and data analytics earlier. So when we are able to make decisions and then implement change and see the results with the positive implementation of that data, that is knowledge. So moving on, we are, envisioned, and we should be envisioned, each one of us is a very authoritative person in various organizations. So we should, be thinking towards knowledge-driven organizations. And how would we be doing that? Inshallah, we'll be discussing along this presentation, inshallah. So moving on. So in ICCIA, we kind of envisioned and we kind of thought that what should be the specific digitalization goals, what to expect, what to attain, what to aim for. So digitalization goals are in, this is debatable and this could even be enhanced, and but in a very crude form, we have to improve the product, we have to automate the processes, and we have to simplify the communications. Moving on, this is a transformation process of from digitization to digitalization to digital transformation. What happens is, in digitization, quite a lot of businesses, quite a lot of operations, quite a lot of SMEs, quite a lot of startups, they are doing work, and they are doing it with their conventional manual processes and in scenarios. So what we have to do is, the first step towards digital transformation is digitization. We kind of create forms, we kind of create interfaces, we kind of create apps, desktop apps, mobile apps, web apps kind of situations, which only kind of digitize their data. Have this form, if you write it on a piece of paper, write it on this particular web application. Simple. If there are surveying people, there are people who are required to collect the data, or who are required to collect the feedbacks. In order to have that paper in their hands and collect that data, let's give them some basic application or a form or a software on which they can collect the data. Simple, first step. Then comes the digitalization. Digitalize data and use digital technologies to improve and optimize and automate process. Now the data has started to come up. Same thing kind of, with a different perspective, as Brother Muhammad Al-Sayyid said. We have the data now, but the data is in a very crude form. How do convert that data into a very meaningful data on which decision making could be done? So now at this stage we have to create processes. The data is there. Let's create processes. If we are to create a sales system, or if we are to create a human resources system, or if we are to create any finances system, what specific processes happen in a finance manager does, or a human resource manager does. So we identify the processes, and we kind of figure out, okay, what specific, how would the workload, or how could the processes which a human resources manager does could be automated. So this is the second step. And the third step is digital transformation. This has to deal, this is aligned with the culture, with the technologies, with the infrastructure, with the business goals, and from the top level to the last level, from the CEO till the very junior person in that organization has to accept that digitalization is going to enhance our business processes and optimize the business. So that is digital transformation. Again, as mentioned earlier, when a knowledge-driven organization has been established, so it has attained and it is on the way towards the digital transformation. So now I'll be talking about the role of SMEs in economy. SMEs, before even just a background, before joining Islamic Chamber of Commerce, I had my own technology startup. I initiated that with one person, and alhamdulillah that company grew to a very decent, handsome number of people. So kind of having that exposure and experience of starting as SME, I've been through. So what SMEs are, the best SMEs, or why SMEs are important, I would really tell you. They give jobs to people who may not get jobs in a well-established organization. Okay, so SME is very important in that aspect. SME will trust a person with no experience because if he had experience and he possessed the relevant skills, he would have gotten a job at a very well established organization. So, SME is not only generating economy or not only doing business or not only, providing employment, but it is value adding towards the people. So that is a hidden underlying kind of impact and the role of SMEs. So that is how I also look at this particular aspect of SME. Anyways, moving on. So SMEs are backbone of economy of any country. They are creating jobs. They are representing 90% of the businesses, and they are providing 50% of the employment worldwide. And formal SMEs are contributing towards the 40% of the national income GDP. So, SMEs are very important, and they are facing various different challenges. And the first and the most important, kind of the thing is that if digital processes or the digital transformation or if the processes could be automated, the challenges could be reduced. So, having said that, I'll move forward. So, SMEs are focusing towards contributing towards exports, economic progression, and then creating employment opportunities, and then balanced regional development and etc. So there are quite a lot of roles and contributions of SMEs towards the economy. So we all accept and we all kind of signify that SMEs are quite a significant component of the economy. Moving on. Now, specifically coming towards the OIC member countries, the current state of SMEs in OIC. I'm kind of creating this whole background in order to have that importance of SMEs in our minds. So that is why quite a lot of focus has been made on creating that background and making you figure out and analyze the gap which has to be considered for SMEs. So, moving on, the current state of specifically post-COVID OIC countries situation is very bad, and apart from the very few OIC member countries, majority of them are living below the poverty line, and there is no specific communication platforms between the OIC countries. As mentioned earlier, if only a platform is created among the OIC member countries. So, what basic thing could be done is creating a platform, and that could be a digital transformation, platform. And this is not very difficult to develop. I've been into projects. This is not a very difficult task to develop. Simple. We even see, each one of us would have used the Amazon process, and we would have we do e-shopping. Simple product or platform like Amazon would be good enough, or even initially with a lower quality as well. And as the data progresses, we can effectively enhance the product. Moving on, so kind of the SMEs are in a very worst situation because of the lack of platform, lack of infrastructure, lack of communication. SMEs could be further enhanced, and we can do wonders. We have still done quite a lot of, and that would on a very greater level enhance the economy of the OIC member countries. So, talking about the challenges of SMEs. So there is an issue of formal recognition of SMEs in OIC. For that particular reason, and for achieve that particular objective, chambers of commerce have been established, or the process of the chambers of commerce is established, so that to provide that formal recognition of SMEs, so that SMEs or even small businesses or private businesses, they talk to the local chamber of commerce, and they kind of they figure out and they get the relevant recognition and the relevant say in policy making. Second is financing, angel investments, venture capitalism. Again, quite a lot of startups, quite a lot of companies they die away because they do not hit the right market, and then the budgets are very low. People want to contribute. People even put their life savings. One person I know, he saved a handsome amount of money working, doing job all his life, and when he retired, he had some fund. He said, "I have saved this to start a business." So now people have that mind. People know that advocacy is there. People know the significance of initiating a business and generating financing. But still, due to the lack of, I would rather say, platform, that angel investments, venture capitalism, the initial funds of startups or local businesses or small businesses fade away, and that is crumbling the SMEs. Third is improving capacity development and human development index. Infrastructure is required so that human development index could be enhanced, so that business opportunities could be improved and increased. Third, lastly, due to the lack of the digital literacy, digitalization and digital transformation, this advocacy isn't there, though, so that people are not attaining, not acquiring, not implementing, not adapting the digital transformation trends. Hence, they are doing some sort of business which could be enhanced, but they are not, maximizing the limits. One more aspect of digital transformation or digitization or technology adaptation is people consider technology involvement as an expense. I would rather say it should be considered as an investment towards your business. Investment is also an expense. But we do that expense, or we do particular investment in order to have we expect results. But with the expenditure we do not attain and expect any results. I would rather say and recommend and would advocate that technology enhancement cost is an investment. It is not an expenditure at all. Further, so now, as I mentioned earlier, we are in the third segment of this particular presentation. I've talked about the ICCIA introduction, I've talked about the SMEs and digital transformation, and I've advocated and what are the challenges and why is digital transformation. So now, a specific topic is why digital transformation for SMEs. So we are bridging gaps, we are promoting opportunities, talent farming, women employment, and then community engagement, employment generation, and there are several advantages. We have a very small session right now, but talking about the advantages of digital transformation for small businesses or for any business, this is a very long debate. We can even talk about several days on this particular topic. So moving further. So this is one of the important slides of. So now I would rather say that why digital transformation for SMEs. So what is SME? The biggest challenge of SME or the biggest goal of SME is to reduce expenses. Since there are limited funds, they would want to do every process with a well-defined expenditure in mind. Okay, so reducing expense is one of the core phenomena or one of the core goal of SME. Okay, so what kind of expenses are there? Let's try to figure out. So there is a HR or a labor cost, the human cost. Then secondly, there is a utilities management. I'll kind of figure out what are the goals or what are the targets of an SME, what they want, and what are the particular issues, or I'll figure out and I'll further break down the issues, and then I'll tell you what kind of specific digital transformation strategy or the process or the module would be implemented to enhance the process or to reduce the cost or to improve the quality or whatever metric we are talking about. So HR and labor cost is one thing, utilities management is another thing, and then billing and recoveries is specifically in the developing and underdeveloped countries. This is a very big issue. Secondly, quality management is one of the core aspects which an SME wants to attain. They want to control losses. They want to improve the quality and quantity. and then finishing with packaging and branding and all. So this comes in the quality management sector. And then secondly, they want high profit so that ultimately the company grows and ultimately it is no longer an SME, it is a large scale company. So the objective of every business is to grow. Still, and if they'll have greater profits, obviously they'll grow. So access to the right market and time to reach the customer. These are the particular factors in order to attain the high profit. If they reduce all these issues or if they overcome all these problems, for example, they'll overcome their labor costs, they'll overcome the utilities, so they'll definitely reduce expenses. So what specific measures could be done to reduce the expenses? We can have HR management systems. Okay, so what an HR management system does is it is employee registration, it is payroll management, it is leaves management, it is attendance management, and simple solutions. This is not a very hi-fi kind of thing. And with the involvement, right now we are talking about unemployment. With the involvement of an HR management system, maybe you can debate that job of an HR manager is kind of taken. Okay, let's consider the fact for right now. We are killing the job of an HR manager. Okay, and then we have accounts management system for financing, for quotations, for invoicing, and then we can have e-payment integrations with the various digital payment gateway platforms, then sales management systems, e-marketing systems, IoTs and sensors for quality control, which would give best obtained results, supply chain management and inventory management. These are very basic, very simple modules, very simple processes, or I would rather say very simple softwares, small softwares, which could be with the implementation and with the intervention of those particular softwares, various processes could, that is the beginning of digital transformation. Moving further, so what are specific barriers or the mechanisms or speed breakers in order to attain this particular technology adaptation? Top management is commitment of a top management is required. Again, the same factor. Top management specifically considers implementing technology as an expense. Rather, it should be considered as an investment. Secondly, specifically talking about the OIC member countries, technological awareness is we are lacking technological awareness, and then we have limited interaction between technology providers and seekers, and then technology transfer, hardware infrastructure issues are there, and then again that technology seems expensive, skilled manpower isn't there, and then the absence of an ecosystem. Earlier during the coffee break, I was talking to a team member of this particular conference, and we were discussing about the unemployment issue. In specifically in tech companies, or we do tech recruiting, or we do recruiting for people who are technologically aware. So every now and then we are in interviews, and we give offer letters to people, and people don't join because the people who know technology. What was the trend earlier? The earlier trend was that company had several applicants, say 100 applicants, and they had to select 2. So they would select the best 2. Now what happens is that the person or the applicant has an offer letter from 10 different companies, and the person selects which company to go to. So if you have the right skill set, you have several jobs. And the people and the companies and the organization are facing this challenge to hire the right people. So rather crying about unemployment, we should acquire the relevant and the correct skills. So moving forward, the digital transformation roadmap. So now I am on the 4th aspect of this particular presentation, which is how to start digital transformation, specifically in focus of a small business and medium business. Steve, what is the first step? Okay, so there are in the digital transformation roadmaps, the first aspect is presence. In order to have presence, the business should have a website, social media presence, and should have a market analysis, know-how of the market. The second aspect is resource planning. Okay, so know the supply chain, register on known platforms, align banking channels. So now we have different channels, different platforms to attain different products. So having a technological awareness of different platforms is essential. And the third aspect is automate. Automate processes for cost minimization, technology deployment for quality improvement, and high yield. So this is, I'll further break it down into, we'll have this is a very bird eye view of how digital transformation roadmap is. I'll tell you the process and specific steps that could be done in order to initiate the digital transformation journey. Moving further. So the process of transformation has 5 steps. Identifying goals of digital transformation. The second step is establishing the baseline metrics, bringing in all stakeholders. Now, the thing is, being a technology person, there are several tools. Where we have very expensive tools as well. Microsoft, Amazon, Oracle, SAP, and there are billions and billions of tools. And the people who debate that technology is expensive, I agree that technology is expensive. So why not, even if your budgets are low, we can initiate technology, and we can initiate technology using open source tools. There are tools which are free to use. All you need to do is hire a relevant developer who knows that particular technology and initiate the whole process. So there are free open source technologies and tools. There are several programming languages and different several programming platforms which are free to use, which have no cost involved. So why not, instead of buying that heavy technology, why not initiate with an open source technology? Inshallah, if the process picks up, if we have a smooth process, we'll talk about the further enhancement and quality improvement of that particular process. But in order to start low, go with open source technologies. There are several programming languages which and databases, and for every layer, for front end layer, for back end layer, for database layer, for cloud deployment layers. At every platform we have open source tools which could be initiated free of cost. As the process goes by, as the data enhances, as the volume increases, we'll pay per use model. So this is an easy initiation aspect. Then there are time-based, security-based solutions. We can opt for paid, cost-effective IT solutions, and then pay per use model should be there, as you pay as you go. So in this way, we can limit, and we can obviously have minimal expenditure involved. So this is a brief, matrix to what to do and how to do, and what specific tools could be used. So I'll quickly go through this one. So in order to have an online presence, what we do is buy a domain, create a website. E-commerce business is very common these days, and then have there are several tools which are, all of these tools are free of cost. WordPress, Wix, and other. There are different tools to have a digital presence and website. And then this is economical digital presence. There are different ERPs which could be initiated. ERP, Zoho, localized ERPs, etc. You can even have a localized ERP developed, customized for your own business. And that is, I suggest that is a better initiation strategy. It is a low-cost solution. It is fully customized. And I'll give you examples of few as the presentation progresses. And then we can have various mobile applications for having tracking well-defined processes, payments, marketing, communications, etc. And then we can have cloud-based solutions for deployments and data analytics. So yeah. So now, what is there? There are basically SMEs need to do three factors, three basically parameters. Reflect where you stand today. Are you, there is a known as digital transformation readiness assessment. So you assess your business, your infrastructure. What in this particular case, what you assess is that are you infrastructurally, ready? Are you culturally ready? Is your advocacy done correctly? And then if digital enablement and security risk and everything is clear, let's start. What can you do now? So what are the touch points or the initiation points or communication points from where the process could be initiated? And then the last part is how can you start to shape your future? Obviously, we'll talk about productivity optimization, infrastructure optimization. Ultimately, you should have those calculations in mind that how much cost in maybe 1 year time, 2 year time am I going to save with the implementation of technology. So I've talked about these processes already. Maybe let's quickly, further proceed further. So now, some recommendations for successful transformation. First of all, advocate digital transformation. At all levels, the advocacy for digital transformation is required. Islamic Chamber of Commerce, I mentioned that earlier, towards the end as well. Islamic Chamber of Commerce is, doing various advocacy campaigns towards digital transformation, and then advocate that the customer experience would be enhanced with the implementation of digital transformation. Second is have an end in mind, have a vision in mind. As mentioned earlier, have objectives in mind, what to expect from the process. And then failures may come. You have to have trust in your technology, in your decisions, and the development team. So it is a risky business, but we can have calculated risks. And then lastly, create or join ecosystems with partners whose capabilities complement your own. Have partners, have digital transformation implementation partners. So finally, why are we advocating digital transformation? And why are we required to adapt the new processes and the new trends? Only 12% of the Fortune 500 companies from 1955 remain Fortune 500 companies today. So if we are to, I feel basically ignore or we'll be reluctant towards adapting technology, or if we'll be, if we are lazy, then ultimately, and on a longer level, on a greater level, maybe 10 years down the road, 15 years down the road, we would not be in a business situation where we are right now. We will not have that particular ranking which we have today. So, tech companies are now one of the most successful and expensive and top-notch companies of the world. Why? With the intervention and the adaptation of the technology at the very right time. We have a classical example of Nokia. So with the intervention of the Android system, when the Android system was introduced, Nokia was one of the finest mobile producers of the world. But they initially went on developing their own operating system and not adapting Android, and ultimately they lost their marketplace which they had. So this is kind of, we are at a crossroad. We have to figure out, we have to take the right decisions in order to, have strategic, visionary decisions and end results for the future of our businesses and organizations. Now, this is kind of the fifth segment of the presentation. I'll quickly, I've taken a lot of time of yours, so I'll quickly go through this few. I have two success stories in this particular presentation, in which we went through the whole digital transformation process. So I'll inshallah try to quickly wrap up. So the first is an electronics company. And this was basically a company which was producing electronics products, wires, switches, switchboards, and all the electronic stuff. So this particular company, basically they contacted us and they wanted to enhance their sales. They said that they have a very well established sales mechanism and their business is very established, but they now with the intervention of technology they want to enhance their sales. So we kind of figured out and understood what is their basically sales process. So the sales process is very conventional. There are people who would go, who would take their products, go to various customers, like door-to-door kind of marketing, and go to customers. They'll place their inventory, create a bill, and that's how things are done. And again, they have markets or distributors. Again, their sales people would go to the particular vendors or the shop owners. They would place their inventory. As the product gets sold, they'll get their share or the cut or whatever revenue. So this is the very conventional 100-year-old sales mechanism which is continuously going on. So they wanted to track and enhance the sales at two different levels. I'll tell you about those levels. This was basically a sales scouting solution, and then dashboarding or data analysis was implemented. So basically, what we suggested was that a mobile application would be developed for those particular scouting sales people, and they have the data of the markets, they have the data, and their ongoing current existing conventional sales is happening. What we can do is, in order to enhance the sales of the electronics components or the tools or the products, what we can do is, there are scouting people who would go around the whole country or the city or whatever area they have been assigned to, and then at every place where they see a drilling, where they see a grey structure of a building, where they see a particular construction being done, ultimately there would be a day when that building would require electronic devices. That building would require the implementation of switches. So, have those futuristic clients in mind, and have those futuristic customers registered in your databases. So this was the idea behind it. So there were scouts, there were people, they would use the app at the particular location where they feel that this is a building which is under construction, and this would ultimately require maybe 2 months, 3 months, 6 months down the road, they would require electronic devices. I'll have that registered on my system. So ultimately, after 6 months time, my salesperson would go and try to acquire that lead and sell my product. So this was the vision behind the development of this particular product. So ultimately, this is the dashboard which you are seeing on your screens, which was ultimately developed. So what you see is there are 642 scouted locations, 192 are classified as commercial, 186 are classified as markets, and 264 are residential. So kind of, when a scout goes to that particular location, he would try to figure out that is this a residential place, is this a commercial place, or is this a shop? Like, for example, go to an electronics shop. Hey, you have my company's inventory? No. Do you want to keep it? I'll give you this particular commission or a discount or whatever. So analyzing the places or the shops which do not have the inventory of my particular company and placing my inventory on that particular shop so that the sales is enhanced. So there are basically, according to this particular dashboard, there are 186 markets which have been scouted which do not have the product which my company produces. Okay, so and there is a pin location of every. If you look at down, so there is a pin location of every location which has been scouted. So C means commercial, R means residential, and the green M means market. Okay, moving further. In this particular slide, what you need to focus is on your bottom right. You will see filters that have been created and implemented. So residential, and then I've selected Karachi. Karachi is the city in Pakistan, and then Gulshan Iqbal. So drill down to such a level that how many residential locations are in the city of Karachi in the area of Gulshan-e-Iqbal. So I specifically know there are 14 residential locations, or which could be further contacted and data could be extracted. So this is the drill down level of data, which ultimately data analytics with the implementation of tools could be established. And this is a very valuable data for the sales head or the CEO of that particular organization in order to have a tracking of the leads and sales. Further, moving on, this is basically a scoreboard, or rather you would say a competition board of the sales agents. So which particular sales agent has scouted how many locations, and this is in terms of descending maximum and then moving on. So for example, if you see on the top Nixon Rahmat, so Nixon Rahmat has scouted 79 market locations. This scoreboard, that particular company, that they publish this scoreboard every week, and whoever was the maximum scout, who ultimately in terms of business level, as a CEO level decision making, whoever collected the maximum data was given a weekly bonus. So the employees were motivated to collect more and more data for the organization, and the CEO was watching this particular data, this scoreboard, at which employee has extracted how many locations of what particular category. Moving further, this is a geo tracking of their sales agents. So for example, these are where are my particular sales agents at this particular moment of the day. So if I was, assign someone to visit a particular customer who is in different area, which is half an hour away from my location, is he there or not? So because sales people, they are, very tricky. Those people, they do quite a lot of things. So, and their job is outdoor based job. So how to track the performance of the sales people? So I can, whatever I want to do, I want to deduct his salary or whatever, this particular employee can't fool me. So this is basically, to this level we are doing the tracking of people. Further, moving on. So this is basically, these are the few snapshots of the mobile applications which you are seeing when a particular user clicks on the scout, they go on to a map, Google map enabled, this is the view which you are seeing in the center, and then at particular location, if you will click projects or you will click market, you are registering that particular organization or that particular location. So you will fill out a form and that particular thing or that particular location is scouted. And then these are the few scouted locations which a particular sales agent has scouted. So for example, if there is Mahmood Khan and then you want to see his particular data, and then in the center screen, if you look at the pin location part, the Google Maps is integrated. So if I want to visit at any location at any point in time, I can with the intervention of the implementation and integration of Google Maps, that particular location is I can visit that place in person. This was a bit, dashboard of the mobile application, and these are different sales documents, catalogs, and categorically various different sales documents have been arranged and categorized. Moving further, this is basically textile weaving factory digital transformation journey. So what we did was that contracts, delivery orders, graded passes, sizing programs, different processes, again, processes which happen at a particular organization or at a particular business. So these are different processes or the documents which a company needs to produce in order to have. So we have digitalized the whole process in order to have those manual contracts or manual gate passes, manual delivery orders. All of these things are just few clicks away, and this saves human resource cost. This saves the document security cost, and this has digitalized, and document searching, filtering, and everything is very easy. So this is a particular form when a particular contract needs to be created. These are the few contracts, the list of contracts, quality, quantity, date, everything is tabular view. The data is being This is a particular weaving contract kind of, the output which the system generates. Uh, and these are various different processes which happen at that particular organization. This is easily implementable at any textile factory. So kind of the objective is, now if you see this particular screen, so this is an LC pending report. So I can extract the data by filtering from various different parameters. I can search from buyer, I can search from supplier, from date to date, and then date. So this is the power of digital, with the intervention and implementation of digitalization. At the end level, this is the data within a few seconds. The senior manager or the CEO or authority person could attain and then make relevant decisions. So this is kind of a step towards the knowledge-driven organization. So there are a few other projects as well, but we're short of time. I'll quickly move further. So there are several other kind of projects. ICCIA is doing a lot of stuff in the livestock, handicrafts, and agriculture right now, and we have quite a lot of ongoing projects for the transformation of these different business sectors. And then coming to the last part of the presentation, ICCIA projects and innovation. Digital transformation for SME workshop was organized in 2020. Then ICCIA accredits various different chambers. So it is working on a sustainable chamber model, and that particular model is based upon the enhancement of the internal development of ICCI members. And that particular accreditation model, inshallah, will be presenting in Mauritania tentatively this year towards the end of in 19th December, inshallah. Then we have various digital transformation chamber workshops, and then we are working on commodities exchange platform for Nigeria, Mozambique, and Uganda. We are working on a microfinance bank for the OIC countries, specifically for the G5 Sahel countries, but as a pilot project. And then we are working on the digital transformation of chambers. This is the most iconic and the classical projects of the digital Islamic Chamber of Commerce. Having said all of that, I would thank all the partners of the Obic and ISEC, Islamic Development Bank, and all of the participants right now who patiently listen to the whole discussion. And with this, thank you very much.
Thank you, Brother Talha, for the presentation. And now we will move to the next presentation about credit reporting and sources of information that will be delivered by our brother Mustafa from Credit Reform. As yesterday you have noticed in the presentation delivered by Brother Rafiuddin, he advised about the gap in credit information in our member countries and how to fill this gap. Brother Mustafa is going to handle this area, but from the perspective of credit information provider. Have the floor, Brother Mustafa.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum to all brothers and sisters. Thank you, Brother Taib. Dear all, I would like to emphasize how to make the credit reports, how to collect the information, how to analyze them and convert them into credit reports, and how to use them for the force to debt collection. Credit Reform is our company, umbrella company, which was established in 1879 in Germany, Mainz. It's close to 150 years old, experience in credit information sector. the credit reform, when they are establishing, try to answer the question to whom give the stock in advance payment. Because in Germany, most of us know there are plenty of production. There are production, but limited amount of money. You need to produce more to make it cost effective, and when you produce more, you need to market them. You need to transfer them to the buyers. But the problem, money shortages. They are asking the question: who is the right buyer? But after Second World War, again shrink to the German-based countries, and after the collapse of the Iron Wall in 1989, credit reform again extend their business and effect area over all Europe and the world afterwards. Capacity of the credit reform in 2022, 88 million company data reports, and served 165,000 clients and members worldwide. Some of the clients are Daimler, banks, Siemens, credit insurance companies like Turkish Exim Bank, Kofas, Öyle Hermes, Atradius. All the big key players are our main client, and getting the reports from our organization. Handled more than 6 million debt collection cases, and we are the market leaders, especially for German-based countries. We are working like a credit bureau for business cases. We established the Credit Reform Turkey 2009 in Istanbul, and we have been providing the reports all over the Europe and China, Russia. These are our own offices, credit reform offices, and worldwide we are submitting the reports for our clients and members. In our services, we are providing the credit reports, but today, even the banks are bankrupted. You saw and you see how fast developing the situations. We are giving the company monitoring services as well. When there's a change in the company data structure or owners or new financials, new effects of the market over the company, we immediately informed our clients and members about company report development. We are doing the market research for our clients when they want to enter into the new market. For example, you are the shoe producer. You are looking for the shoe shops in somewhere around the world, mainly in Europe. Our database covers more than 28 million companies. And when you specifically mention the area, like online trade show, we give you the list of the shoe shops on the targeted region, and you can send your salesman to contact with them and to make the new business deals. And also we are doing the business consulting, because we are giving the reports without any without any country boundaries. When you intend to go to from your local domestic market to the foreign markets, we give you the market details and report which points you need to be careful about entering into that market as well. And also, we are collecting the debts by using the force of the information. As I mentioned before, because we have very short amount of time, very squeezed in the morning program, I'm going fast. We are submitting the business information which supports the company sales strategy. For example, new customer came to you, your salesman contact with the new client and want to sell the product to that company. If it is cash basis, there is no risk. But if they are looking for either advance payments or future payments, 60 days, 90 days, you need to make a research. This is what credit insurance companies are doing as well. They are going to the credit insurance companies and asking for the insurance for that receivable as well. And we are making the risk assessments and their report preparing and informing our clients and members about the situation of this company. And by the risk of non-payment, we will show you in detail in the future of this presentation. We are mainly strategic partner of the clients. Like one of the successful story that we did in Turkey is Turkish Exim Bank. We are the main information provider of the Turkish Exim Bank in Turkey for domestic reports and also for foreign reports, mainly European reports. We are submitting to Turkish Exim Bank. I'm proud to inform you when we started working in 2012 for domestic reports in Turkey, in the first 10,000 reports we made 0 mistake during this information providing system, which covers their big losses and big mistakes as well. What we can offer to Obic partners is mentioned in the first meeting, Mr. Mohammed Al-Said. When you try to make the digital, programming or software integration, you need operational excellence and cross-country contracts, capacity building, country development. We can consult and we can help you to digitize the information. We can arrange your database. We can help you to do the database architecture, how to make the information available for your database, to analyze them, to help you to establish your healthy working digital systems. Advantages of credit business reports: evaluating international business partners before making any failure. And the objective of assessment is the risk, well-founded excessive information. As I mentioned to you, in our database, as a credit reform database, we have more than 28 million companies' information. Detection and development of the threats and potential problems by chasing and by making the monitoring, which means that, like Credit's use case, it was a bank and one of the biggest in the Europe, and bankrupt after a sudden. When you learn this information after bankruptcy, it's worthless. You already burden all your investments and everything. And one of the investors of the bank is Saudi National Bank, unfortunately, and they lost more than $1 billion American dollars in that business. But when you are working with the credit reform, we inform you beforehand and from the developments by making the monitoring, and we develop you before you move into the next steps. We warn you about change in the financial situation, change in the market situation, change in the other situations like small and medium enterprises. If there is an expectancy in the failure, they immediately change the partners and also the managers. We will inform you immediately about the changes in the partnership and the addresses and the managers of the company as well. And when you are working with our system, you will face the standard format. What we mean in here, for example, in here we have tens of countries which have different type of financial standards. For example, I am personally representative of the credit reform Turkey and Macedonia. The Macedonian balance sheet and the Turkish balance sheets are different. In the basis, they are similar, but in every country have their own standards. And We are making standardization of the reports by making standard format, and your staff, your risk assessment staff, look at the similar reports every time, and this makes you to fast decision-making process. This calls you to make the fast decision-making process, and also prevents you to make the mistakes. Before taking any decision, you are looking at the similar reports. We are market leader for the Europe, and online information we have available. I will show you our portal as well. The less important signs with the gray formation, and if there is any warning sign, you go to the red. If everything is okay, you go to the green side. On this side, I want to mention one more thing. We are accredited by the Basel standard, which is our reports are valid for all European banks. And the solvency index you saw on there, like traffic lights, green, yellow, and the red sides, are patented by the credit reform and approved by the Basel standards. When you are making the report, this is why we are invited here, how to make the report, because we all want to make a common system in here via Obic. You need to have the public registry and related records. Banks, financial institution, and the blacklists. Blacklists are the non-payers. Non-payers are the most important side of our business. Company websites, investor reports, direct opportunity company, which is more important than the historical data, site search, third-party sources, which includes the market investigation, cross-checking of data, consulting clients worldwide and all languages. When you are making the business report, steps compiling the information that I mentioned in the previous slide, and validation of the information about the subjective company, analyzing the data and assessing of credit rating by using credit reform algorithm, and the formulas making adjustment manually when needed. Our algorithm is more than 150 years old, but which is mainly working for the European countries. And the approach in European countries and the Turkey or most of the Islamic countries are a little bit different. The main reason behind it, our financial reports, balance sheet, income statements are not reflecting the truth, unfortunately. If you give me the reports or financial reports of one German company for 2017, 18, and 19, with 2 or 3% mistake, I can estimate to 2019 and 2020 normally. But because of the COVID, even for the European countries, you cannot estimate when there is a newcomers or new problems in the market. Because of the epidemic, you cannot estimate because it's not a normal, smooth running manner. But when you are normal, smoothing manner, when there's no emergency cases, you can estimate in Europe. In Turkey, when we start in 2009, we alter all this 140 years old experience to Turkey. And again, we are working very accurate. Financials like balance sheet and income statements are very important, but also we are looking for the cash flow of the company, which is very important in our region. It is more important than the balance sheet in our region. But by looking and chasing the cash flow and the payment information of the company, you can get better results because we are not declaring everything in our balance sheets, unfortunately, in all our regions. Credit reform solvency index, as I mentioned on the reports template, this is Basel approved system. The excellent note is 100, and the worst one is 600. Mainly, when we collect all the data for one country, from 10,000, 20,000, we start to work on them statistically and apply the bell ring model for the companies and alter it to solvency index, put them into the system, and assign the solvency system to that country standard, and we renew them every year, at least every year. Some countries, some epidemic conditions, we renew them monthly as well. And also, according to solvency index, we reflect the probability of non-payment. In Europe, we are reflecting the probability of default because if company is not in default case, they are paying in Europe. This is the reality. When you raise the invoice, if company is performing, they are paying on time. But in Turkey, even the company exists, they are not paying. This is different approach. We have checks, future bonds or something. That's why for applying this algorithm to Turkey, we convert solvency index by measuring the non-performing payment information to our solvency system. And if company, even if not bankrupt, we are measuring the non-payment performance with this solvency index. We are locally and globally at your service, and we have an individual approach for every type of the new companies and the new organizations. Our main clients are credit insurance. Spain are our competitors in some market, but we are sharing the data, we are selling the data as our customers to their system, which means that credit reform in 23 countries give their reports to them, and for UK, US, and for Norway, they are selling their reports to us, and our clients can access the Experian report in our form, which means that we have web services. This is the second phase of the information. We have the TXT, now we have the web service. Every client every supplier keep their information in their databases, and when our clients want to reach the, for example, Norwegian company via our system contact with the Experian database, send the query within milliseconds, and they reflect the answer, and our clients see the result, and if they want to, they order the report. This should be the case for us as well. Every country should keep their own information in their own database, control the information, but we need mutually communicate these servers, and everyone freely access to the other information by the control of the local country zones. We can apply the latest technology to do this in seconds, and without losing the time, because internet is very fast, and we can make all these countries move together to make the one system. And we have a high success rate by applying the solvency index. At the beginning, you know that the percentage of non-payment when you are giving the advance payment stocks or credit insurance or whatever, you make your decision at the beginning, not at the end. You said, okay, we will cover the 2.5% risk, or we will cover the 10% risk. It depends on your management. If you want to, for example, 10 years or 15 years ago, I'm not sure, they want to increase the trade in between the Bosnia and the Turkey. And we are supplying the Bosnian reports as well. And we warn them, look, you are going to use our solvency index of 380, 360. Maybe 20 or 23% of your credits will be non-performing, which means that you cover this loss. You should know at the beginning, if you open the line of $100 million, you should recover at the end of the period 22 million or $28 million. There will be a loss. But the aim of the Turkish government that time to increase the trade communication between the both countries, and they said, okay, we are ready for this loss. We want to start better communication between the countries. And you know it at the beginning by buying the reports. And you can say, okay, we can lose 20 million or we can use 30 million, but you know it at the beginning. It's the good side. You know that it will not be 100 million. You have a limitation, you have a budget. Instead of making something else, you allocate the budget for your partnerships, for future partnerships. And today, the running ones are, running loans are very dependent with Turkey buying the goods, and this increased the economic connection. They already recovered these losses after 2-3 years by promoting the trade in between the countries. When we are talking about the crediting, when we are giving the trade insurance, always there is a debt. And the debt collection is the part of our business. For Germany, for example, SAP, Microsoft Dynamics have financial tools and direct link to our system, which means that we have a blacklist. When some company is not willing to pay the debt, we contact with them and say, look, you will be on our blacklist, on our list. And this will affect all your crediting issues, your leasing issues, and this will affect your transportation insurances, like the green card, all of us know. Because insurance companies are very highly connected to our company and working with us. If that transportation company is on the blacklist, they cannot generate any green card to passing internationally. By using this force, we collect most of the debt collection if the company wants to be in the system. If the company isn't willing to be in the system, or they said, okay, I will bankrupt this company, under the name of my cousin, I will open the new one, enter into the system, we cannot do anything. We are not beating up the people to collect the money. We are warning them, and we mention their names on our blacklist, on our system, and it is working very well in Europe, and it's working very well in Turkey as well at the moment. And as a cycle, how it is doing, creditor contacted with the creditor from expert, explaining the situation. We contacting the debtors and asking them whether this claim is true or false. We send them the documents, asking them if it is not true, please reply us, and the reason that why you are not paying this debt or whatever, and claim if it is true. We have a high percentage of the recovery, but if it is not recovering, we are transferring the file to lawyers and taking the legal actions, and at the end, if there is a still company in there, by using the legal action, we are recovering the money and transferring to the creditor. It's more or less the same debt collection process in Turkey, but we are almost more than half an hour, and the lunch break we passed. That's why I'm shortcutting this side. These are some of the clients that are give permission to share their names as a reference. We have more than thousands of clients in Turkey. The bigger ones, which is attractive for you, is Turkish Exim Bank, Öler Hermes, Kofas, BSF maybe, and we are working with them, and we are working with them not like client relation, we are working with them as a partner relation. In the breaks or for your future needs, if you need anything, especially developing your database in your country, and how to make your database structure, how to make the algorithm in your country. This is another thing. We call it software engineering and analyzing the market statistically, and how to make it up to date. You can see our solutions, collections, market analysis, credit reform international base or our self-management base, news and membership, how to make the membership and online services. In online services, if you want international, you enter in this system. If you want a Turkish system, you can enter here and you can make the online connection to our system. Here is multi-language, not Arabic yet, but English, German, and Turkish. And you can send your request, and we will immediately send you back the reports and related investigation. If you have a 1, 2, 3, or 10 requests, the portal is convenient. But if you have a thousands or hundreds of the requests per week, we are making the web service integration between our servers without even you entering to do manually, not to losing the time. By clicking the enter, you reach your request, processing them, and send them back as XML format to your server, and you reach on your system and immediately process them. Thank you so much. Have a great day. If you have any question, I would like to answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Mustafa, for your informative presentation. And now I take you to the next presentation on the importance of information sharing, the example of manual database. Another definition is also defining the credit report as the information about the company's ability to pay its suppliers. This is also from Norman Business Dictionary. And the last one, it is the credit information reporting, the process of gathering, sharing, and distributing information about the performance of financial relationships. But for me, the most appropriate definition from the industry, it is that it defines the credit report as credit information is a tool to help the insurer, the exporter, or the bank to predict who will borrow or buy, pay, or default. Because this may apply more for those who are working in the financial services. Okay, then let us go to what is the credit reporting agency. The credit reporting or credit information agency or a credit bureau is a company that collects, processes, and maintains credit information on individuals or businesses and sells it to lenders, to creditors, insurance companies, and consumers in the form of a credit report. Some of them are private, and some of them are public, and sometimes you will find that part of the ownership is goes to the government and to the private sector also. The history of the credit reporting. Cooperative credit bureaus were known in some countries from the early 1860s, but the industry experienced rapid growth only after the First World War, and they were originally organized to facilitate the exchange of credit information among nations. That is the beginning. Here we have gone through the definition of the credit report. Let us then go to the sources of credit information. So these are the sources from where the credit information agencies are gathering the credit information reports. The first one and the mostly used is the public sources like the government reports, the courts, company registry, because these public sources, sometimes they have information that are not published. So if the credit information agencies have access to these records, this means they can provide a more insightful report. And also publicly available information they can refer to media, they can refer to newspapers, so they can also get abstracts from these sources. Then we have a specialized database on sanctions and KYC checks. But these mostly are paid. You have to pay for a subscription so that you can access these sources. Direct contacts and visits to buyers. So in some cases, if the insurer or a bank is considering or assessing a risk that's a high risk or it is involving high amount, sometimes they ask the credit information agency to visit the site or to visit the company so that to ensure this company is existing and where it is located and how what the building, is it owner or the ownership or is it on rent. All this they can give indicators on how this company and also how long it is in business and also the reputation of the company in the market. So information provided by exporters. But sometimes also the exporters provide their experience with the specific company and the payment experience. This is very important also because it will tell you if there are any delays in the payment they make for their imports or any goods they can take from the exporter. And also special events of importance. Sometimes there are some things, and this you may also get from the market. Like if there is like any there is marriage, two companies married together, or at least this company was before it was a group, and now each one of these group now is a separate entity. So this is also important for you. And credit opinion and maximum recommendation. This one it is not all credit information agencies are doing, because some of them they don't do risk and assessment. Just they give you the information as it is. But here, if the company, the credit information agency is giving you credit opinion, this at least it will give you an indication. So it will lead you, but not most of the time. But it is an indication. You can also take it beside your homework that you are going to do to assess the risk. This is here, as I have spent half of my life in credit insurance. So yes, I am going to give you the cycle of credit information in the trade credit cycle. Here, the first step is the exporter or your policy holder or the bank client will apply for credit limit on the specific buyer. The next step will be the insurer or the bank will request information report from the credit information agency on the buyer or the client. When the report is received from the source, then it is going to be used after assessment to decide whether to approve or reject the credit limit requested by the exporter or by the client. And then after there is decision, with rejection or with approval, then here we have to, as I said, there are two options, either to reject or to deny, to accept, to approve. Insurer grants or denies credit limit on buyer who may pay or may default. This or two possibilities are there. The buyer may pay, so this means there is no problem, and there is possibility also for default. And then this becomes a problem, because here the insurance company or the bank is going to report this default or delay, this positive or negative information to the credit reporting agency, because most of the time there are some sharing agreements between the source, the provider, and the insurer. So when I just advise this negative information to the export, to the credit information agency, they are going to consider that when reporting in future on this buyer to any new client. Because for them, if their report does not include such important information, then their information may be considered not reliable. And here, the last stage, the credit reporting agency is going to update the file they are maintaining on this buyer, so that for any future orders, they are going to include this. So here you see that it is a cycle. It is going just it starts from the exporter and again ends with the exporter or the bank. Since here the scope of this presentation is information sharing and also common the databases. So here I listed, because here when we coordinate together, it will at least avoid working double work, for not having two parties working on financials, and while there is a possibility that one will work on financials, another work according to the specialization. So we will leave each part to the most specialized party, so that we can have, at least at the end, we will have a very professional and comprehensive report. And also, if we have information sharing, we will ensure that there is better quality and reduction in reporting burden. At least, if an entity is going to work alone on a comprehensive report, it will take from them more time. But if the same job is shared by more than one entity, so we will do it in with less efforts and in less times. Then we'll see the obstacles to information sharing. There are some problems that will make it difficult for us to share information, and some of them are legal and the confidentiality constraints. And this, inshallah, tomorrow, Brother Hassan from legal, he is going to address these issues. And also sometimes there are organizational or cultural and technical aspects that will make it difficult to share data. The organization, because sometimes in the same corporation they will say, no, this part of information, it is only restricted to top management. This one is only just for finance. So there will be no transparency among the same departments in the same organization. Also, here for the technical aspects, maybe that may be involve issues relating to communication or to connection or to internet. So all this may affect the information sharing. For the information sharing, there are some good practices. Establishing appropriate communication with stakeholders and seeking proper institutional endorsements. This is one of the good practices. And also ensuring a clear legal basis for information sharing. So this means when we have clear guidelines, we will have clear also flexible information sharing, and there will be no risk of breaching any agreements for confidentiality or something like. And also establishing fully fledged cooperation at all levels. If there is clear outlines and guidelines for the sharing, also this will ensure that we will have cooperation at all levels, from those who are developing the reports and also those who are using the reports for decision making. For the collection of common data, we can use joint methodological and technical standards. So this means the technical people also, they can design for us the forms and also methodology to collect information in an easy way. And also the last one is formalizing governance and cooperation arrangements. For it, when it comes to governance, we have to stick to that, and we will to respect it and see how in each entity how the information sharing is governed by whom, and who is the delegated authority to authorize staff in the department or in the corporation to devise this information to external parties or just to keep inside. This is one of here point to consider here. Integration of various large databases, an important new development that affects the scope of information sharing and cooperation, as it allows the flow of information from different sources. This here tell us about the importance of developing more common databases, because as I said, in terms of cost, in terms of efforts, all that, it is going to be reduced, and there will be more benefits to all parties involved in this. There is a need to create a new culture of information sharing.
Before, in all institutions, there is people are very hesitant to share information because they don't know what type of information to share and what not to share. So if there are policies that are clear and it will tell the staff what to share and what not to share, this will facilitate having shared information between departments, and then it will go to among in the corporate wise, then it will go country, and it will be cross border. Here, some obstacles may be faced during the planning and implementation of information sharing initiatives, especially during the initial phases, and they need to be addressed. Here, at the case we have faced before while we are working on the Amman Union database, because some countries, they are hesitant in providing us the information because it is not clear for them what to share and what not to share. So, but this has to be addressed from higher levels so that at least it can be solved and they can be given the green light to share what is permissible and what not to share. And it's the same also now we are going to face when we are working on the Obic, because some countries is still reluctant to share some information and keep the others. Refer this request to the information provider based on the selection you made by the ECA for which provider you want to use, and when if there is any delay beyond the number of days specified in the agreement, then the database manager is going to follow to do that follow up, and this will reduce the burden on the ECA instead of just making reminders. So the database manager will make this follow up, and when the report is ready, it will be sent through the database platform. We have something called a pool, common pool. This common pool, it will always have a copy of any report that is ordered by any of the members. So if any of the ECAs, the next time they want to search for a report, to order a report, before going to order the report for cost, they will access the database and the common pool. If the report is there and it is still fresh, we can say up to 6 months. If it's fresh, you can take it for free because another ECA has paid for that. The next term, also it will come, you will pay for a report and somebody else will take it for free. So especially in export credit insurance, if you are going to do just a due diligence search or just for marketing, if you want to just, it is only a prospect, just you want to do only a search or basic assessment, you will not need deep reports. So you can use this. And so this is one of the objectives of the database, to reduce the cost of credit reports. So here, I have put here benefits for the Amman Union database members. This is a comparison. I have two. Company A is a member of the Amman Union database, and while the company B is not a member. So we will see which each one of them will get benefit. Because if both of them, they need 10 reports. Number of reports required, each one he requires 10. Number of reports ordered, you check here, you see company A, because they have access to the common pool of the database, they ordered only 6 and they have taken 4 for free because it is available there. But the other company, they have to pay for the full 10 reports. Here, if you see then the number of reports obtained, you will find that company A has obtained 10 reports, although they have only ordered 6. But the other one paid for 6 and obtained 6. Number of sources used. Here, company A, company B, because they are not members of the database, they have to access 10 platforms so that to make 10 requests. But here, the company A, because they are members, they have to access only one platform and make one request. You see here, now the human interaction is reduced. Number of invoices received. The company B will receive 10 invoices, while company A will receive only one invoice from the database manager. It will list all the reports ordered regardless the country of the buyer or the source of information. For the fees transfers made by as to settle these fees, you will see here company A, because they have received one invoice, they will make only one payment, one transfer. So while the other one will make 10 transfer to 10 different. So they will pay all these charges. Here number, as I said, the platform used is one, and here the other one is using 10. The achievements of the database, we can say we have made considerable savings in the cost of reports for member ECS utilizing the services of the center. Because I have noticed this as I was in charge of the credit information function in ISEC for more than 10 years. So it was, you can say, when I compare the situation before and after the database, there is a big difference. And also the time taken by our staff to receive reports and to follow up with information providers, and especially in our region, because most of these information providers are based in Europe, so there is difference of timing, difference of holidays, so always this is impacting our business. And so here also to enhance the access to our database, now the technical team is working on applying web services to most of the providers, and also we will link that to the systems of the ECS, so that whenever a report is received, it can be, the data received can directly be populated in the systems and databases of the ECS. And some of the advanced ECS in our member countries, they have their own scoring models, so the data can come directly from the report to your scoring models, and it will also reduce the efforts made by the underwriter or the data entry staff. And also we can say the most important achievement is that the success of a manual database has inspired us, ISEC, to think to widen the scope and also think about making the initiative for establishing the Obic. So inshallah, we will all benefit from this experience, and now we know at least what are the problems of credit information, what is the gap, and also if you go to the reports that we have on our website about the study for establishing the Obic, you will see all these areas were also addressed. Here, as I said, from Amman Union database to Obic. So this is the end of my presentation. Yeah.
Can you tell us your name, please?
Taif Abdullah.
Okay. And which group member are you representing?
ISEC. I'm representing the Credit Information Function in ISEC.
Okay. And the title?
The role of credit information in the credit risk assessment.
Okay. Then can you tell us, please, what knowledge you're showcasing today?
Here, actually, we wanted to share the ISEC's experience in the area of credit information, as many people or the visitors are not aware what exactly the role of credit information in the credit risk assessment. And also we wanted to showcase a success story about the credit information database.
Everybody. So in this session, we'll start with Dr. Abdurrahman Zahi. He's going to walk us through a presentation on the importance of inter-trade data, analysis of OIC member countries, economic integration. And Dr. Zahi is associate professor and senior economist in the ISDBI, that is the Institute of Islamic Development Bank, and he has published works on the area of OIC trade and Islamic finance, and also he was awarded several awards in these areas. So welcome, Dr. Zahi, and please, the floor is yours.
Assalamu alaikum. It's my pleasure to share you this today presentations about the role of inter-trade data analysis for OIC member countries, economic integrations. This inter-trade data is very important to this Obic OIC Business Intelligence Centers. And inshallah, this will be this area, all sectors, the trade will be the core business of these intelligence centers. Economic integration is very important for the OIC members, countries. They are singing and addressing this OIC idea, economic integrations and challenges long ago. And I think the birth of Obic will help, and this Obic will play, I expect it to play a very important roles in furthering this inter-trade integrations. Although the job, it is not easy, because the job of Obic, I expect it will not be only the data collecting and analysis, but in order to overcome more barriers for this inter-trade, the center need to be to inform and convince the member countries. So to inform them through the data analysis of inter-trade integration, and to convince them this integrations is of more benefit for our member countries. So expected to play this very vital role. Before to go to the data that's supposed to be collected and analyzed to help in the OIC inter-trade integrations, we'll go through the international trade and inter-regional integrations, and why these integrations is benefit for our member countries. Also, the data is all the information that we are going to discuss or going through is available for all of you. But let us go through it together, and then we'll see what are the challenges and what are the constraints and opportunity that this Obic can play this role. So international trade is, we know that purchasing of and selling goods and services by companies in different countries. International trade is very important for our member country to expand their market access, goods and services, and otherwise may not have been available for the good not otherwise been available domestically. All our countries that are playing this role, they are selling the raw materials outside or overseas country, but our role here, yes, sell it for our overseas, buy it from overseas, but we will say better for our member countries. So that the trade destinations, export destination, import destination is very important. If we are selling, if we able through the Obic to change the trade destination of our member country and the import destination, export destination, if we are able to change it from to going to other non-member country to our member country, then we will say Obic is achieved its objective. Otherwise, it will go through many constraints, many challenges, but the opportunity is there. So international trade will help the country to be more competitive, and then the ultimate result is more competitive pricing and cheaper for our member country consumers. So that's why the international trade raising living standards, and we need our member countries citizens to uplift their standard of living through our very, very huge resources that is available on our member countries, and to exchange it based on comparative advantages and based on many cross factors that's between member country, also boosting the investment and employment. So interregional trade, this is a trade between regions, specific region. Interregional trade refers to exchanging goods and services between countries in same geographical area. And you have it some example in Africa, and Europe, and in Central America. This intertrade leads to region becoming economically integrated. So we can say OIC member economic integration, or we can start by the integration by regions. And we will see later on what are the steps that lead eventually to economic integrations. So country may seek regional economic integration for several reasons, such as larger consumer markets, and I have wrote in interregional trade, as we will see, I give the examples on North Africa country. North Africa, Arab country, this is region sharing borders, sharing a lot of custom together. So that they can be a large market. Also, they can have new employment opportunities, attracting foreign direct investment also, and sustainable long-term economic growth. And our member country, more of our member country nowadays facing a lot of challenges, although they have huge resources in terms of human resources, or in terms of natural resources, or mining, and a lot of, although they are facing a lot of economic constraints. So the region like European Union, this is interregional integrations, and also United States, Mexico, they also an example of. So defining the international trade and interregional trade, we will see why interregional trade is necessary for OIC member country. Why is it important? So OIC member country could be a large economic gains, because we have not huge resources, economic resources, just you name it. So then by getting these integrations, they will have gained economic gains and furthering the long-standing economic integration efforts. So there are four advantages. Integration in a large size of market, and the size of markets is very important. We are, instead of selling our goods and services, exporting it far away, you can just export it between the borders. So that will be more benefit economically, and also as well as politically. So a lot of member countries, they have even tensions, political tensions in their borders. So getting integrated, they will, economic integrated will solve a lot of problem for this country, and they have economic gains. Also, they can create competitive markets where producer they can enjoy the lowering prices and low cost of consumable goods, and this will our member country will have the welfare. They will achieve the welfare, economic welfare through the integrations. Also, the increased disposable income can be spent on the new goods and services, and they can enjoy it, because we will find some countries, they are better off in producing specific goods rather than the others, and the others also, they are good in specific goods and services, so they can enjoy their specializations. So large market is pure innovations and enable efficiency gain, and also achieving economic of scales. Firm can keep costs very low, and this all lead to welfare and high employment, also in our member country. So inter-regional trade very important because improve productivities and production quality, because in order to sell your goods, you say, and to compete with borders, then you need to have, the quality of products, and also they can also, in IDB we have what is called reverse linkage. Through reverse linkage, we can help our member country to be more integrated and to export the technical how from one members to another members smoothly, and to help them to to better utilize their economic resources and better exchange it between them and mutual benefit. And this will promote growth, economic growth, and improve consumer welfare. In addition, economic diversification strengthens political ties, because still we have in our member countries still between them, many of them we have very loose political ties. Then getting economic integrations, because it's not easy, because it will change. Even even if you need to be economic integrated, you need to change the policies. You need to address legals and regulations, and you need to address many things. This will help also in political tensions between the member countries, especially those who are neighbor. And also, this will help our member country to improve their bargaining power. If take for example Obic Plus, Obic before Plus, their bargaining power is very weak. But now when they become Obic Plus, their bargaining power become very strong. So regional integrated will help our member country to improve their bargaining power, and then when selling even their goods to overseas, to Europe, to USA, to other countries, they have strong bargaining power and they will get what they need. And then this is very important. So there is more gain from economic integration. We see this, there is a stage of economic integration. There is a stage of economic integration. Let me bring my watch. I don't think I brought it. So it's very small. So the first stage is preferentials, agreement preferentials, trade stage, preferential trade area. This, it is the first step of integrations. It's the first step of integrations. Some neighboring country they agree and to make trade area, and this trade area prefers trade area, and then they practice this. And this, under this agreement, you will find just they may reduce the tariffs and tax between them, and then they start trading. So trading together. But even this point is the good. It's the first steps to go to the next stages, and then others free trade area. Free trade area is the next step, which is there is more easy doing business between the member countries, and then we have custom unions, and these custom unions, in additional to the tariffs and the tax and some easy doing business between them. Also, we have free movement of factor of productions between this member country, and also this is an advanced step for integrations. OIC inter-trade and data analysis. Why is data analysis, inter-trade data analysis important? Here will come the role of Obic, the role of OIC business intelligence will come here. If we are convinced this inter-trade data analysis and investment data analysis is important and necessary, then we say OIC is important, we can, Obic is important, we can invest on it, and we can pay this, yesterday we see a huge budget, about 7 million US dollars allocated to this. So if we are convinced this data analysis is important, then this existence of this and the creation of Obic is rather important, and then we have to support it. That is why we put why is inter-trade data importance for OIC. Its analysis help understand better potential comparative advantages, because we have to walk up our member countries, to show them what is the beauties that resources, economic resources that they have, and how competitive they are, and how they can benefit if they are creating a huge market between them. They are sharing more custom together, they're sharing religious custom together, they're sharing consumer trade. They can sell to your member without putting halal or haram, because by default they know you are producing halal, and so on. And then this is, very helpful. And then to convince them they are benefit from these integrations, then you need intelligence centers with highly qualified, staff to collect the data, to analyze the data, to inform the member countries about their comparative advantages and about the importance of their integration, about how much they can benefit from this integration, and to convince me. So I expected this Obic, his role is not just collecting the data, but collecting the data, informing the others, member country, convincing them, and doing a lot of strategic effort to achieve at the end to achieve the integration. So the interpretation of such data measures as the comparative advantages is complicated. It's complicated. It is not easy. It is not easy. It is not just collecting trade, data trade, and export and import. But as we will see, you need to make analysis for trade data and non-trade data. Trade data and non-trade data, and use it for informed decision. Then you need to inform government, politicals, and also to educate others how they can maximize the benefit of their resources. So, the example of data collection, there is, before us, there is country, they have this kind of, center. Like the European Union, they have inter-trade, they have inter-EU trade. Inter-EU trade, this is maybe similar to what ISIC expected to create for collecting data. They call it Interstat. So data collection system on trade in goods between member countries, they are created in 1993. So data collection system is compiling statistics on international trade in goods between European countries. And they go in further. They asking the member countries themselves to do this, and this is we can benefit from the previous existing knowledge and centers. So, what are the factors impact inter-trade success? If you know the factors, then Obic can play a role for collecting data and information in these factors. So the availability of data and information about following key factors. The key factors are important for OIC member countries to plan and conclude successfully. Many of these data, if you go, you can find it in IMF, and you can find data, but we expected Obic to be a trustful intelligence center by our member country. So he will do data collection, data validity, and then also you analyze the data based on the final goals that's the benefit of our member countries. So expect it to be a unique centers which is working for the member countries and will be trusted by the member country. Then the data that's will be very useful, trustful, because we have those who in the IT, they know the quality of data and bad data and quality of data. So trustful data. If Obic become a trustful center, intelligence center, then whatever will be informed by him to our member country will be trustful, and then at the end we will achieve our goal. So to have inter-trade success, you need to know doing business. In any member country, you need exactly to know how doing business in that countries. Yes, there is an indicator from 1 to 98 country of doing business. If you go to the IMF, you will find doing business, or the World Bank. If you write, for example, Egypt doing business, then you will find the indicator. But we need also to give furthers. We don't know the data that collected for our member country. Is it collected politically or collected, exactly? And who provides the data for those for IMF or for the World Bank, and how he doing that? So we need centers to be trusted by our member countries when advise the member country doing business in this is the environment of doing business in this member country provided by this center. Then, and when the center advise them, you need to easy you're doing business, then they will trust and they will agree and they will respond. So we need informed data and trustable output from this Obic. So, and since this Obic supported by the member country, then they will provide reliable data, and then at the end the decision will be informed. So doing business is very important, and we need to collect doing business in each member country and to report it and to compare it with others indicator whether exactly doing business in our member country is good or not. And this is very good indicators and important. Then custom regulation and standards, and this is I think more challenges in our member countries. We will find each country they have their own customs, their own tax system. I remember in Sudan, one day we have 24 type of tax in Sudan, which you cannot find it in any other country. So how you are doing business and you are taxing the, your import and export and at this. So this custom and regulations are very important, and also the center need to know all the regulations and custom regulation in each country and tariffs system, and then to advise them, because if they want to come together, then they need also to make harmonizations and homogeneous system that will help them for integrated. Otherwise, you cannot following specific, trade regulations and the other regulation. But if you convince them for their benefit, they have to, to harmonize regulations and the system. Then they will come together and they will help for furthering, the economic integrations. So, and on IC, you have diverse economic policies and also diverse resources. Then investment climate report. Also Obic, the center, they need to have a regular investment climate report for all member countries. And this is very important, and also it is not an easy, it is challenges given the investment climate of our member countries, and maybe 57 countries, it is not that easy, but OPEC, if supported by a good system, technology, intelligent system, then they need also to have a regular report, and this report to be trusted by our member country, and then will that. So the country investment climate is very important for intertrade promotions. You cannot make intertrade promotion unless you know exactly the investment climate in that country, in additional to others, factors, security and so on. So therefore, investment climate might needed to address market conditions such as labor protections, responsibility of business of conduct, openness, and all. So it's very important. Other data collection area also and very important. Sometimes it is sensitive to say political. If you are in IDB, you are very sensitive to touch the politics. But this OPIC need to touch the politics, need to report the politics, need to address the thing exactly. Otherwise, will not play the role. Will not play the role. Because politics will affect the intertrade, will affect the economic integration. They cannot segregate. You cannot segregate. So you need also political and economic environment. You need to address it very clear, and you need to know it very clear if you want to inform country to integrate with other country, with other members. You have to address this issue, and you have to advise them for their benefit. They can overcome these challenges. So this is very important. A report also member country and political economic environment also might be helpful. Might be helpful as had a major impact on the intertrade activities, because the political environment is and these things is not measurable. It is not like like trade data, export. This is unmeasurable. Sometimes data, but it is you can it is qualitative data, but you can quantify it in a very reliable report. Because at the end you need to advise. At the end you need to advise member country. Other data also important, and it will raise the cost. Infrastructure data for intertrade. The infrastructure, the infrastructure is very important. Basic infrastructures is very important. Quality of infrastructure is key catalyst for trade integration across country. And the basic infrastructures like road, electricities, and all these things, warehouses. This will raise the cost of the support. The chain value of the export and import will be impacted with infrastructures. And this also getting integration, member country can help each others on this, integrations. And this, maybe, for example, Egypt may not have agriculture, for example, natural resources, but they have very good company in building and helping in infrastructure. Being neighbor to Sudan, they have very good resources of agriculture, so they can integrate it, they can help each other, and they benefit from. They need the huge lands of agriculture, and they need the know-how of high skills labor of building road and this company, so they can get in together and they can benefit. So and at the same time, other very important and this is leading sector for export and investment, export and import. So this is a very important factors, because this will affect the balance of trade. The balance of trade, the difference between export and import. This is the balance of trade. So, and here we need to have data for 4 areas: export and import, and export destinations and import destinations. services that our member country good of it and for export. And right now, they are exporting to what destinations? This is very important because we need to change the destination of our member country export in order to go to specific region to come to our member countries if there is a comparative advantages. So we need to study their export, what they are good of it, and their export destination. Also, we need to study import, from where they are importing their goods and what destination they are importing. They are importing from what? From EU, they are importing from China, they are importing from the US. Then this also. So this is very important. And for export and import destination, I give you an examples. We're collecting data about North Africa member countries, their export, their import, their destinations, import destination and export destination. And from this exercise, you will see, although we are members and they are one region and they are very close and they are sharing borders without any constraints, and they can easily move, but still they don't have any intertrade between them. They don't have any intertrade. Others also, you will find some, they are supposed to be very good in specific goods, but they are importing it. For example, it's a shame Sudan to import wheat. They are continuing importing wheat, and then they have very huge land for agriculture. Egypt importing 12% from the world wheat, and this is from when Russia-Ukrainian war, it has happened. They are importing 12 from Ukrainian, and they can just import it from Sudan by land. They don't need to go that far. So they can work together, and they have competitive advantages. They have even they don't have visas, entry between but they are importing wheat from that far away, and this, even the countries that are supposed to give this comparative advantages, they are also importing it. So you will see from OIC, they start, as we'll see, OIC countries, they encourage regional integration. Any form of regional integration, they are encouraging. Whether a trade preferential agreement, whether it's, common union, whatever, they encourage free trade, they encourage. But what is the problem? Long ago, OIC, they encourage people to integrate. But what is the problem? Then, this is one of the role of Obic to find and pinpoint and highlight this is the challenges. This is a problem, and this is a problem. And to create a will between the member countries to address the problems and to overcome it, to advise them to overcome this problem. So they, as we know, IC, they have framework agreement on trade preferential system. They have it to encourage their member countries to integrate it. They have also protocol on the preferential tariff scheme. Also, they address it in 10-year programs, actions. They also have rules of regional testing of IC designed to success deepening intra-regional integrations. But despite of this effort, or the will of IC, but still we don't achieve any, a good sample of economic integration between our member countries or even between members. So this is typical of North Arab countries that are part of OIC member, command enormous ownership of the world's crucial resources, such as oils, natural gas, agriculture. So we will see this country, they have huge resources, but still they are not integrated and they are not beneficial. So their own potential economic resources. Why I study this country? Because this is part of OIC, but they have potential economic resources in different fields, such sectors such as agriculture, urban land, energy, mining, human resources. If you take especially Algeria and Egypt, these two countries, they have a very huge human resources. They can be utilized and they can, it will be very helpful for if this country integrated. And they can have a successful conducting successful interregional trading. So interregional trade is essential for this region for the following. They hold easy access borders and very clear. You can go from Egypt to Morocco, just you can go by land. So has diverse resources and huge population, as we say, Egypt and Algeria is one of the sample. Therefore, interregional trade integration might help wrap economic of scale, expand market, collectively exploit their resources, reduce country dependence on traditional trading partners, and we will see the trading partners of this country, and also raise their resilience against external shock. Right now, we see the disasters of the Ukrainian-Russia wheat. It is a disaster for Egypt. So, but if they activate their neighbor resources, they can be resilient to this, global shock. They can just, from neighborhood, they can benefit and no need to go further. Also, they improve their competitive. As you will see, they are exporting raw materials. Why are they exporting raw materials? The value chain, the value added of producing and exporting, the semi-manufactured or semi-manufactured good is much profitable than selling the raw materials. The Sudanese, they are exporting cow. You see this cow, you can sell their meat, their gelatin, a lot of things. You can sell it and you will add value. So if the member country integrated and they help each other, some with the know-how, some with the natural resources, and then they can even if they didn't change their destinations, their destination then can benefit. Sudan is producing 80% at a point of time from gum Arabic. But the gum Arabic exported to USA from Germany. They took it raw, they refining it, they powder it, they change it, and it is this product used in the medicines, capsules, used in in a lot of things, but it's still in Coca-Cola, but still they are selling it raw material just like that. So integrated will increase the efficiency, increase the quality, will add value to the product of our member country, and even they didn't change their trade destination, still they can benefit. So they are not North Africa, they are not homogeneous economic and are classified into three. I classified them into three groups, like least developed country, which is Mauritania and Sudan. The second groups comprise fuel exporting neighbor country, Algeria, Libya, and then the last group, middle developed countries, comprise Egypt and Morocco. So we tackle this issue for inter-trade among this regional country and simply through the trend, the UCA trend analysis. If you see, this is Mauritania. This country exporting gold. They have gold. Also exporting, non-flat frozen fish. They exporting, copper, iron. This is the export. But see the export destinations. Their export destination. They export it to Germany, to Japan, to Italy, Switzerland, and China. So non-member countries, this is the top exported destinations of Mauritania. So non-member countries is the top exported destinations. So on the OPIC, we need to know all our member countries, what they are good on it to export and what their export destinations, and how we can, change this for the benefit of our member countries. See, also what they are importing. They are importing vehicles, large construction vehicles. They are importing excavation machineries, raw sugar, wheat, refining, petroleum. But they are imported from where? From Belgium. They import the top from Belgium, and then the top is UAE, and then China, Netherlands, France, Belgium. So from import they have one member country they are importing. Maybe they are importing refining petroleum from UAE. So only one country they are top. And you see this wheat, maybe Sudan can be one of the the main destination for the wheat to be imported from for Mauritania. Although we see the country itself supposed to be producer of wheat, they are importing also. Very shame. But through the comparative advantages and the help of the IDB and OPEC, then we can change we can change these destinations. Other sample, Sudan. Sudan also, they are producing gold, and maybe the second or third African country producing gold. Also oil seeds, nuts, Sudanese nuts, and insect resilience, and so on. This is exported. This is in addition to the livestock. Sudan also producer of livestock, but it's not the top. So what are the destination of the export? India, Japan, China, and UAE. Very recent UAE. And I think become destination for UAE after discovering gold. Then we will see the other member countries also sharing border with Egypt, with Libya, with Chad, with Central Africa, and so on. But none of the countries of the top export destinations. They are unfortunately the top importing product is the wheat. Is the top imported. Sudan is the top imported for the wheat, and the country is supposed to be producer of the wheat. Getting integrated member country can help each others with the know-how and with the investing in our member country each others. Then they can overcome and they will benefit. Just as Egypt come and invest and then in order to import from Ukraine, import from Sudan. It will be cheap, and you can be part of the investor, and also it is near, cost transporting also cost. Especially they are planning to make a railway, African railway from Cairo to Cape Town. If this railway is still already there is infrastructure between Egypt and Sudan on the railway, just to improve. Then they can import through train. It will be very cheap, very integrated. Then also, unfortunately, Sudan import raw sugar, and they have the bigger factory of sugar, Kinana Sugar in Africa, and recently he is also importing sugar, and refining petroleum and so on. And what is the import destination? They have China also. You will find all this country, China is the number one, recently become number one import destination for North Africa. And India, Egypt, and then Sudan also import from Saudi Arabia and Uganda. At least they have two member countries, Saudi Arabia and Egypt, is import destination. Import from French, China, Italy, Spain, and Germany. So Algeria, they don't have interest rate, top interest rate from our member countries at all, for import destination and export destinations. So, and this need also to be studied, and there is a comparative advantages. Even in this region, as we see, they have a comparative advantages, especially if they are refining their own petroleum and so on. Libya, they also the top 5 export is crude oil, petroleums, refined petroleum, ions, and gold. And their destination, their export, 5 export destination: Italy, Germany, China, French, and Spain. Almost similar to Algeria. Especially Algeria, French number 1, and Italy for Libya number 1. Then what are they are importing? They are importing refined petroleum, cars, wheat. You see, wheat is the common factors between all these members country, and then others, furnitures and baggages. Then what their import destinations? Their import destination: Italy, China, Turkey, Egypt, and South Korea. So they are importing at least from Egypt and from Turkey. And you see that last time, you will see when the instabilities happen on Libya, you will find which Arab countries more involved to need to stabilize Turkey and Egypt, because they are main trade destination. And that is why political will come here. The politics will come together with the economic and with why they are very important for them, this country to be stabilized. Because for them, this is import destinations. They are importing from them, and they are doing business from them. So for them, they need the country to be stable. But for others, they have other factors. They need it, to be stable, and that's why you need, to study the holistic environment. If you want to promote interest rate, you need to study all the geopolitical also environment. It will be part of the informed decision for the member country to be integrated. Egypt also exporting crude oil, petroleum gas, refinery, gold, and also their export destination is Italy, United States, India, Germany, and Saudi Arabia. They are importing petroleum gas, crude petroleum, and refining petroleum, in addition to the wheat and other stuff. Their main destinations, the top destination, import destination is China. China is the top import destination. Then followed by United States, Russia, and Ukraine. And you see to what extent this war impacts this country. Because there is no diversification. They are importing from one region, Ukraine and Russia, and then this war impacted badly their import from these countries. And then also Turkey. Turkey is a part of the 5 top import destination of Egypt. And any political tension between the member country will directly impact the economic they are exported, installated where chemical fertilizers. And you see, if between Morocco and Sudan, there is comparative advantages. They have agriculture, they have chemical fertilizers for the very good, highly quality. So they also, and then calcium phosphate and other minerals. But what all their destinations, Algeria and Morocco, the top France is the top export destination. They are exporting to France and Spain, Brazil, India, and Italy. You see, none of our member country is a export destination for Morocco. Although they have a very comparative advantage that member countries in the borders share the borders that can benefit and can be more profitable to the two member countries. They are exporting, importing refined petroleum, crude petroleum, gas, cars, and also they are importing wheat. What are their import destinations? They are importing from Spain, from France, from China, United States, and then Saudi Arabia. And comparing of what these countries need from the neighbors and from member countries, support the member country to be a top part of our member country. How these rules can be, changed by the OPEC. So the previous statistical evidence of South Africa's countries, top major export and import, it showed non-OIC. The evidence also reflects more of them, the destinations is non-OIC members. Only, you will find one here and another here in the country. The evidence also reflects that more of the international trade of North Africa's country are primary commodities. All is a primary commodities, not manufactured or semi-manufactured. So that means the value added of this exported goods is low. And import refinery petroleum. They export the crude petroleum and they import refinery petroleum. That means they don't have the capacity to refine this crude oil. How member country can help each others and do the refining in place, and they all benefit. So OPEC can inform them, you can do it all together, we can do it locally. And then the value added is more, and other heavy equipment. This result might indicate that most North African countries lack of refineries and capacity that constrain them from refining their crude oils locally, even though they are considered major crude oil producer worldwide. So this is a problem need to be addressed from this just simple analysis. You see, inter-trade, we can use comparative advantages analysis, we can use trade analysis. We just use this simple trade analysis. But we expect OPEC to use all the type of analysis, comparative analysis and trade analysis, and then they will reach to informed decisions. The data also unexpected reflects that in some countries, also supposed to be main contributors to the agricultural product like wheat in Sudan, among their 5 top imported products even outside OIC countries. So the wheat is a major factor between these, all member countries. All of them, they can import it from Sudan rather than going. And Sudan itself, how can be helped to produce this very good strategic, product, and they have their, land producing them. There are more inter-trade opportunities in the North Africa that still need to be explored in many product categories, particularly in the agriculture, food products, such as in Sudan and Morocco. The opportunity for the inter-trade between North Africa can be more useful if the country encouraged investment in oil refining industry. So these countries hold a very smooth access borders among them. And this is advantages. This is advantages. So what are the challenges if you need to see some challenges that's facing this country? North African country have not passed the easy doing business index. If we go, even this easy business index, we don't know whether reliable or not. We expect OPEC to have cross validations of these indicators. But although the available indicators show that these countries have not passed the easy doing business, they are very complicated and they have more problems. Also, the basic trade infrastructure might represent another major obstacle promoting inter-trade among North African countries, because the basic infrastructure will raise the cost and will make the country less competitive. Firms in most North African countries face high production costs due to the poor access to production factors such as electricity, credit also, skills labors and other input. And this also easily make economic integrations easily, the labor can move easily from the borders. So you can get, good, highly skilled labor from neighboring hood, and then that will be also benefit, and all of them they will benefit. Yet, to ratify the inter-OIC trade agreements, the fundamental level of trade remains low, very low, and is that trade tariffs remain high on products of export and interest in regional partners. So these regional partners also, the tariffs, the tax also very high, and also this need to be smooth. Doing business is not easy. Eliminating these trade barriers is very essential to post interregional trade among members. So if they are starting initiate an agreement, then they will address all these problems. They will address tariff, tax system, customs, free movement laborers, regulation of trade regulation, law regulation, political, all this they will address it, and then they will benefit, and they can their country they can have welfare. So the role of OPEC in promoting economic integration, and this is OPEC. This is just sample of this North African country, but OPEC they need to go through more challenges and more obstacles and more barriers to in order to promote the integration and to encourage an investment and to achieve the welfare and the benefit for its member countries. So improve trade linkage. This is one. It is not just expected to be a center of collecting data and informed decision, but to encourage trade linkage between them. We expect the directors of these centers to travel from country to country to explain to them the benefit, the trade linkage, the cross point between these member countries, and what they will achieve if they are coming together or integrated. You are giving services, and OPEC producing services, not like producing food. The food you can produce it and put in the refrigerators and waiting for people come to consume. But the services you have to produce it right now and to give it hot, and if acceptable, you will have good feedback. If not acceptable, then you will have, and then you need to produce the services highly quality and, in the right time and using the right tools and using the right data to achieve, your objective. So the challenges, you say the available data is all. Challenge is data limitation. Our member countries, most of them is difficult to have, a very good reported data. So data limitation will face this also centers, and because we know that, because we are as researchers, we know if you want to conduct case study in any countries, how difficult that we we face to get this data. Then data limitation also need to be addressed. Sometimes also OPIC need to teach the other member countries how to provide data, quality data, in order to help them to have informed decision. Political linkage and will, and this is very important. This is very important. Our member country, yes, they said they are supporting OPEC. Are they willing? Are they willing? So the will is very important. If they are not willing to do that, then also this is a big challenges. But the challenges can be overcome by by informing them, by making a lot of awareness. Maybe OPEC later on need to have awareness seminar in our member country. Through this awareness, tells them what is the role of these intelligence centers and what at the end we need to achieve and what the benefit they will gain from these centers. So awareness will help people to support OPEC and to work with it. Then civil war and poor hard and soft infrastructures in most of our member countries. This is also one of the challenges, but we can start with those countries which they don't have that issues, and we will pray other issues, war and civil war and all these things. The infrastructure need to be help each other. They can help each other, invest in each other with the help of the IDB. Then very important. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. This is all data, but still just to give you a reflections. That's how this centers is going to work for which environment and how our interest rate behavior of our member country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Zahi, for the very comprehensive and informative presentation. And I think since now we are out of time, so there is one presentation for Brother Sharif. We will take it for tomorrow. And instead of starting at 9:30, we will start at 9, so that is we can compensate this, since some people will have their flight tomorrow. And also today, because of the social program, and here I sincerely request all of you to join us today, because we have made all the arrangements that all of us will be there. So please, just we want to see you, all of you there today, and the bus will move from the hotel about 5:30, although we are almost now close to 5:30, but let us do our best so that we will be on time. And also for the material and presentations and the photos, also the videos, it will be on the QR code that it is presented here, so also you can take it. So because we want to avoid sending by email, because sometimes the limits of and size of messages will not be easy. So please let us see you tonight at the social program at the dinner. Okay? Thank you. So tomorrow, inshallah, 9 o'clock we will start instead of 9:30. Thank you.